It's
And
Minecraft. You're working with
we are
16.
live.
And the server just crashed, or at least I got kicked out of it.
Wow, that is beautiful
That is
timing.
beautiful
Welcome
timing.
to the stream, everyone.
It just
We're
broke.
just about to do a video in which we recap the entirety of
So the
of
server is
our.
lagging hardcore. Oh no, is it the wall?
Is
Oh,
the
you should
wall
probably
running?
turn that off.
Oh my god.
I bet it's the wall. Okay, 1 second. It's gonna take a couple minutes for the server to
Yeah,
restart.
never
I
mind.
need I need to get to
We'll
space
do
and
a
turn off.
take. We are live. Welcome everyone. The server was just having a fit, but Mark, made blue and white explosions everywhere and killed a lot of stuff. So we're fine now.
I wonder if the console counted
This
the number of entities I cleared.
that would be
Oh no, it
interesting.
did. It
Oh,
did.
very
I
nice.
just saw the number for a split second. Where was it? You can continue. I'm gonna
Okay.
go. Oh,
Yeah, we'll
my.
have to put my space stuff back on when we
So
go back to.
this mod pack is
One of them was 261,000.
Wait, we should all get in the hovel.
One of them was 633,000.
yeah, so over a million at least.
Yeah, there was a couple of those. Yeah.
This is the first mod pack that we have been able to actually complete everything on stream. So,
Ooh.
monumentous occasion, and we're doing, as usual with our mod packs that we play for a while, a recap video. I forget the exact date, but I believe we started sometime in October 20, or September or October 2021. We can get that back for you later. So we played this mod pack over the span of over 600 days, so quite possibly the longest we spent on an individual mod pack on stream also. Big deal. Anyway, when we first came to this world, we spawned around right here. And one thing about this mod pack was there are some stronger mobs. There are some zombie farmers who are not too much to deal with, but then there's also, like U.S. Marines and stuff.
Yes.
And skeletons with assault rifles instead of bows and arrows. So, we had some issues surviving early on in the game. And don't mind for Dragon Egg there.
Dragon egg right here.
I have no earthly
So
idea
the
why
first
that's
couple
there.
nights we survived, as is standard, by existing in this little dirt hole. So, October 2021, this little hole is where I spent my days. And eventually, of course, we have to build something of a more proper structure. And so our first house was right over here. And this is where we, played through most of Age 0, or basically all of Age 0. You see a little meme there from Final Fantasy.
It got exploded a couple times.
Yeah, mostly Kayla's fault. There were some blood moons that were rough. There was one blood moon where she didn't light things properly, and our entire first house got destroyed and had to be rebuilt.
Oh my god, I forgot Cloud Strike.
Yes. Anyway, so the Tier 0 quest line, quite straightforward. All these things, just, cobblestone, pickaxe, all-in-one tool. Early on, we had to build a lot of things with clay. And recipes were quite odd. It was an interesting technique that this mod pack used, where, as you advance through ages, recipes would change because you had better technology and could make things more easily. Some things remain difficult to this day. I digress, but yeah, Age 1, if we look at the quests, basic
At the
metals,
time, everything was just difficult
sifting
until it
for
finally
seeds.
wasn't.
Some basic armor, of course, starting with some copper. And there was even clay armor, though you don't want the clay armor.
It would
I
just
remember when we started trying to get like animals here, and then we're like, yeah, we'll raise some animals, we'll have meat. And then the mod, of course, made it like hard, and we just kind of left our animals here for like the entirety of the pack.
Yeah, and so
I don't know where they are anymore, but
most of them are dead. Well, there's
yeah, I'm reviving them.
Anyway, the end of the quest 0, or Tier 0 quests, really opened up most of the other quest lines. I mean, here, kitchen workshop, ores, alloys, and smeltery, blacksmith workshop, white magic, black magic, mystical agriculture, protectors of the earth. We look on the left-hand side, that's all these things.
I also like
And-
how this also became the spawner holder when we first started.
And yeah, then we move to Tier 1. The Tier 1 quest line. You know, so here, this is a lot bigger. We're starting to get into, as we see, some true technology here. Engineer's Workshop, we get things like basic energy storage, transistors, sandy glass, dank null, which we never use, because what on earth?
I still have no idea how it works exactly.
Yeah,
I think it's
powered
storage.
furnace, don't have to use coal anymore. Of course, how are we getting the energy? Well, we're getting the energy through solar panels. The power of the sun. Let's go, baby.
Those will remain a constant throughout all tiers.
Yes, solar panels, we'll see. So anyways, now just quick looky-loo around here. You know, all kinds of stuff. Jungle wood, some bushes. Because we have to eat, have nutrition. Nutrition is important.
So where we started trying to
Yes,
collect
this
food, but then never
big
did
ol'
anything
stack of dirt. Mark, would you like to explain this big
One
ol'
second,
stack
I'm
of dirt?
Just look at the cactus. Is it growing?
Cactus.
Yes, this cactus I'm standing next to, is it growing?
No.
Oh, it doesn't have snad. Damn it.
Nope.
No.
Aw.
Just sand.
Okay, which big thing of dirt? Where are you?
The big
Back
pile of
here.
dirt behind the house.
Oh yeah, this is our charcoal like creator. You put it in. You put in a bunch of these charcoal piles before they're charcoal, which is like logs, and then you set it on fire and close it off and hope for the best.
Yep, it was a
Um,
good time.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it
Early
doesn't.
source
Sometimes
of
it burns
power.
part of our roof off. Sometimes it doesn't.
You know, we had just a nice little garden here. Of course, this is not vanilla Minecraft, so you can't just turn wheat into bread. You had to make dough and all this other stuff first, but oh well. Also, this
I
house,
also like how
yeah, it
Sorry.
had a well-functioning upstairs before it got, you know, destroyed the first time, and the upstairs never really recovered. Now there are just some severed heads and a sofa.
Yep.
The sofa's nice.
Sofa's nice.
I mean, throughout the ages, I got better with the building of our bases.
And you got better at not getting stuff blown up by creepers.
Yeah, and not exploding them. That was the more important one.
And yeah,
I
we
was
have
more focused on design rather than safe.
some spikes around and about that would just hurt mobs a little bit. Of course, I can't be hurt right now because I have infinity armor. We'll get there in a while.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, so there also used to be less vegetation, but we've planted a lot of trees, you know, because we're good for the environment. We don't do things like blow stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Definitely don't strip mine or
Anyway,
anything anymore.
there's this nice path over here, which is totally was totally here from the very beginning. Some fence. If you touch this and aren't wearing really good armor, you would be taking damage.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're me, who built the fence. It recognizes me.
Oh yes, it recognizes Mark, but not Kayla or I. So now we go up these
is kinda weird.
stairs. There's some stronger walls to where we existed for age 1. So this was a nice little place, you know, dug into the side of a mountain. We had some great views. This was substantially safer than our age 0 house.
Yeah, we
because
could
really there's
watch the
just,
horrible mobs outside.
yeah, there's just
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah, there were many, of course you can't sleep through blood moons, so there were many blood moons that we would just kind of, you know, chill over here and watch a horde of mobs
Just to
No.
kind of mill around.
milling around out there.
Sometimes they'd fight each other, and then
Yeah, but
Sometimes
the
they would
dark
fight
one
each other.
Fell off the cliff.
Yeah,
or something.
we had all kinds of stuff. We had, you know, compost, good for the plants. We had some fancier stuff, you know, storage crates, skystone chest. Also bonsai pots. We'll get topping bonsai pots eventually. Then we had, you know, some pretty large amount of storage for the day along this wall. Most of the chests have since been moved, but no, iron chests, those were really good kush back in like the first couple centuries AD.
So we were so excited when we were able to finally make
Of
them.
course, barrels. Barrels are fun. Let's see, we still have things in
Barrels.
here. Elixir
Yeah,
of
we do.
regeneration. Night vision, swiftness, regeneration
Leopard
again.
lace
There's a barrel.
serum.
There's barrels within the barrel.
Shielding, that's cool. But yeah, this entire wall was full with chests and drawers and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, this is where Kayla and Mark failed to create any babies.
Oh my god.
There's mods for that.
I bet there are. Then this was our
Nate
first
killed him that one time.
our first smeltery. Let's see what's in here. There's some. Wow, we had lumium in here. That must have been recent. Seared stone, crystalline, and blood.
You say recent? I think that was from like last
There's
year.
always
but
blood.
yes.
Small storage crate.
Okay.
This. Yeah, there was
There's grenades.
some
I think all
tinker
that blood
stuff
is
in
mine
here, and
'cause I
then
fell in it several times.
some grenades. Grenades are good. Then we go this way. This
Yeah, like
was our
banded
first
downwards.
nether portal, so this was a big deal. Let's just see where this goes.
Let me turn off the
Well-
difficulty peaceful,
We'll go.
so people can see what Nether is like.
We'll actually explore the nether in a bit, but we'll do that once we reach our second nether portal. Oh, it just took us here. Okay. So yeah, we built an enclosed safe room around our nether portal so that we wouldn't just be killed immediately whilst still loading nether. Anyway, I'm surprised that portal took us here because we have another portal in a newer house that took us here, and I'll actually do our exploration of the nether once we reach said portal. So for now, I'll just return to the cave.
The infinity armor.
Oh.
I can't.
Kayla can't something.
It sends us
I
back
can't
to the wrong
infinity
place.
armor.
You
It's
can't
too
infinity
fast.
armor.
It spooks me.
Oh, it
Oh,
did. It
remember
sent us
that.
to our new house. Okay, everyone. Now we're back at the mountain house. So yes, that nether portal was our first foray into the nether. For a long time, the nether was truly hell, and we had basically no way to exist there and accomplish anything. But eventually we got some better stuff. Anyway, there's this hallway. Tons of chests everywhere. Most of it still has stuff in it.
Most of this was for decorating
You
because I
see,
got a little crazy.
we got plenty of wither ash in here. Some
Oh, yeah, it's
rotten
because
flesh,
if you come down here, you'll know where that came from. This came from Kayla's
some
first mob farm.
lava bucket.
Yeah, it
some
doesn't
other
look
stuff.
like a mob farm anymore,
Spawn
but
imp.
it was there. Got a wall
Anything
of.
these? Basalt cobblestone.
Oh yeah, this
then,
was
yeah.
Nate's little hidey hole.
Yes.
Yeah, some stuff. Yeah, because I had my own bed because I don't want to sleep with Mark and Kayla. And sound
There you go.
muffler, that's nice. And yeah, this was the first version of a mob killing factory. It was primitive. We'll see some more technologically advanced ones later. But
It
yeah,
has this
it did-
name
it
because
did
it was
its-
just mean.
It did its job.
It would just leave
Yes.
them in there and then watch them die.
I mean, yeah. I would sit,
Kayla
like,
does
watch-
have some things wrong in the head. Speaking of, there's mine. Anyway,
There is nothing wrong with my head, thank you.
there's
You were watching them die
plenty.
slowly.
so there's
forever.
the lectern, of course.
Yeah, this is my.
This
working
is
on
where
getting to
she
Bergen.
preaches the ways of torture. Now we see some Dargan
But yeah, this
stuff
is my
here.
dungeon down here.
Stage 5 Dargan.
Some
I have a
ramp.
sea
You can
serpent
see
skull, okay.
my ADHD with my chest. Like I had plans for it, but then it just became I'll just throw whatever in them.
Yep. Is this where the griffins were? No.
Yes.
No. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
right,
this one
yes.
wasn't. This one
Later,
was.
further down.
I was gonna have hippocamps in there, but then discovered that
Garlic.
they don't actually spawn on this server.
Feather.
Oh my god, all the
Yeah,
bunnies.
hippogriff in here. That's a nice little
I
trough.
forgot about this.
And then bunnies.
I forgot I had that.
And
This is where-
trap for catching bunnies.
Yeah. This is where my
Okay.
hippogriff was. He is currently at the other
Yeah,
house right
so-
now, chilling
And
in
then
his
Kayla
kennel.
made a little helicopter pad for riding her hippogriff, though. That was
It's a hippogriff pad?
mostly disallowed because of issues of lag.
Yeah.
Mark spawn, yes, there were cockatrices.
Yes.
I'm getting negative effects.
Yeah, they're trying to kill you, but it doesn't do anything to you.
Yes, we killed them all.
No, not my cockatrice.
Yes,
I
the
have an army.
cockatrice. She did
I
have a
brought them.
cockatrice army.
You did, and they hated me.
Anyway,
Only me. They were fine with you.
Only if you hit me.
this right here was one of our first two main mines. This was the, shall I say, natural mine. Just,
Nate and I know this mine very, 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 very well.
Oh yeah, it's been a while, but this, I mean, this underground system goes out hundreds of blocks in every direction, and we spent many hours in here just getting resources. That's why,
Why is there
you
an
know,
enemy?
you look around, you can see.
We're not unpeaceful.
We're not unpeaceful. You can see some ores and such, certainly, but most of them have been stripped away by our implements of mining. There are some dungeons, you know, scattered about here. This one was a simple one, just small, not too much. And then if we keep going this way, we see more. There's a lot of stuff. I'm just going to allow all of these guys to exist. Yeah, I mean, it goes down that way. Goes down this way.
I mean, Nate simply can't be hurt right now, so.
Yeah, I can't be hurt. I have infinity everything. Can just
I can put
chill
my
in lava.
infinity armor on. But
There's
then...
some of these. Oh, the tile monster box. Ah, they're all dying because it exploded right by lava. Okay, you should not be blocking my sword of infinity with
like
an iron shield.
It's like a miniature shield in Genshin.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right element, it just says no.
Oh, and then there are some of these. Yeah, this nether fortress. Spawning monsters. Anyway, yeah,
Have you lost track of
these
Nate?
These
Yeah,
nether
so
fortri. You could TP to me. These nether fortri are pretty cool. It was fun, you know, attempting to raid them. I think I tried that in Age 1 at one point and Age 2 at some point. It never went well. Anyway, I'm tired of this, so I'm going to
Oh, Nate just got an achievement.
just kind of go straight up to the surface
What achievement was that?
with my sword of
Hit the
infinity.
break myths.
I fell beyond the bedrock.
Okay, close your eyes, everyone. This is information you're not supposed to have yet.
Are you back, Kayla?
Anyway, so that was
Yes,
one
sort
of our two quote-unquote early game mines. The other one is something I'll show you. This, you know, canola seeds, there was a while, I forget precisely what for, but we needed a lot of canola oil.
You don't remember either?
Yeah, but we...
Speaking of needing random seeds in Age 1, there was like certain plants that you could only find in certain biomes. And I remember Nate and I using the fucking temperature humidity grid to try and find... Oh, shot.
Yep. Domestic abuse. We
Aw, you
don't do
killed
that here.
me.
Yeah,
It's because I was trying to shoot an enemy and you walked right in front of me as I pulled out the railgun.
The industrial hemp was not something we needed in Age 1, I don't think, but we needed in Age 2. And also, you know, we have this mod for balanced nutrition, so we needed fruit, and so I just made, you know, many large rows of blueberry bushes.
Just a ghost with bunny ears tail.
Anyway, our first organized mine that I made and worked with was down here. So, you know, before we saw the natural mine, and this was the organized mine. And you can see on the minimap that there will be a nice grid structure. This is very organized. Yeah, you see that. It's looking good. Oh, I mean, you won't...
Because Nate, when he gets bored or needs to calm down, just goes into the mines.
Goes mine. And I need, I'm bored and needing to calm down often in my line of work. And I don't actually calm down as often as possible, or as often as I should. But when I do, mining is one good way to deal with that. So yeah, anyway, there's Just some nice, good old-fashioned Minecraft mining. Keep everything in an
many.
organized fashion. And if we go, I believe, this way, far enough. Yes, I am fast. I have boots on right now that make me fast. Oh, no, we went too far. This mine, somewhere in this mine connects into the nether fortress that we were just in. Might be here. I don't know.
If you go up. Oh, this gets to our Enderman farm. There was.
Yeah, so we had a distinct
Our
lack
first
of
one, we have another one.
Endermen spawning. There were not many Endermen spawning in the overworld for some reason. So when we needed Ender pearls, we just had to go to. There's one of these in here somewhere. There was an Enderman spawner, and we would kill the Enderman there. Okay, anyway, so yeah, to recap. Oh no, we'll go back up to the age 1. Just one more time. World breaker. Get me to the surface.
It do that. Okay,
do
he's just carved through dungeon levels.
Uh-huh.
He's just zipping around.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that was most of our age 1 house. One other thing that I did want to point out that was important to me on a personal level. What the fuck?
What?
I can't leave. This is too tall.
And you're too tall and it's too short.
Okay, we'll go down the stairs the proper way.
Yeah, I built these stairs for a reason.
So our first real source of power used to exist right about here. We had just a handful of tier 1 solar panels just kind of sitting right here. And for a while that was alongside coal burning generators, like our main source of electricity. Anyway, tier 1, looking at the things we got, electronic compactors. That was really big, so that we could, compact items. Before, we had to use a hammer to turn ingots into plates, but with a compactor, we got a more efficient thing there going. Automatic or electronic crusher, electronic furnace. Then better energy cubes, batteries. There's so much time spent on batteries in this pack. Batteries were pretty complex. Pulverizer, so this was our early ore processing pulverizer. You could turn the ore to dust and turn one ore into more than one ingot. Sawmill, that broke oftentimes, and there are some very odd things that you can put into a sawmill, but surprisingly useful. Magma crucible, induction smelter.
It would break a lot.
And we finished off with metallurgic infuser.
One way to make steel.
One way to make steel. Tier 2, the quest line over here. We started with advanced circuits, starting to get into computery type stuff. And now, before we look too deep through all the specifics here, we will go to the age 2 house. Which the age 2 house was over here. You can still see some things hooked up. For instance, these are the solar panels that we started with in age 1 that made their way over here. And these, let's see, they're oh yeah, it's nighttime. Sometimes I forget that I have night vision on, so the world always looks bright.
Yes.
Yeah, they, let's actually see. Don't mind what I was searching for there. Solar panel tier 2 generates 8 FE per tick. And of course, naturally, we'll see later solar panels of infinity we have, which generate a little under 17 million FE per tick. So that's, a 2 million times. Currently, we have 2 million times the energy generation that we have up here. But, that happens. Anyway, there's a hole in the roof. Why is there a hole in the roof, Mark?
A meteorite keeps landing here.
Yes,
I don't know why. The meteorite is attracted to this location.
There's a meteorite which decided to blow up our tier 2 house. Or, well, it didn't blow it up.
Fine for a long time, and then all of a sudden, like, just about every day there'd be a meteorite there.
This was our nice little enchanting table. Get a little bit of enchantments. Again, where Mark and Kayla, failed to get it done. We go downstairs, and we see some better storage. These advanced bins could store a lot more items. There were also a number of chests here, which stored some good stuff. We're starting to see more tech. Design workshop. A battery, some more batteries. And our engineer's workshop. We have many engineer's workshop. Here is super glue. In this engineer's workshop. Judging by the layout and what's in here, I'm guessing this was making transistors. It's been a while, but let's just
Sounds
check.
about right.
Oh, no. It was not making transistors.
Oh, no, this would be making,
It's making basic
advanced
circuits.
control circuits.
Advanced control circuits?
Yep. The things that are missing in the top and bottom are basic control circuits.
Nicely done.
There, I fixed
Then
the
we
house
have
again.
sound mufflers all over the place.
Meteorite.
Bees, Mark got into bees briefly at a time, but that never really became a main focus of ours.
I had bees out there. I had them breeding and mutating, but
Now we have a blacksmith workshop with, of course, our methane.
everything is so fucking hard in this pack.
This was a very difficult pack.
Very difficult path as well. I agree
Very
with that
difficult
statement.
path. There's a spark in this chest for some reason from Botania. Yeah,
It
we
was probably
had a lot of these chests with a lot of random stuff. This wall was somewhat organized for a time. There were a lot of saplings there.
And Nate
This
knew where everything
chest-
was, despite there being no labels.
Yeah, see, and I keep it in my mind. If there's anything important, I know where it is, even if it was thrown into a random chest. So yeah, some books here. This was our main enchantment book chest. Random food.
Says this sign.
More random seeds chest.
E-tools.
Random tools. A lot of these are not too valuable anymore, or I should say useless anymore. Some very random stuff in here. Plates. Yeah, this wall. This was our first true industrial wall, where we see our leadstone flux ducts for power. And this wall at one point was, completely, I should say, over full. We were shoving things like up here and creating wonky connections. Of course, our initial energy battery. And yeah, here was, this was where our first ore processing was as well, I do believe.
What a view. I have to stare through your thighs to
We
see
would
outward.
pulverize to dust and then cook the dust into ingots. It was a grand old time.
A lot of the machines have been cannibalized to the next tier.
Fruit press, yep. Current
I've
age
been
stuff,
going-
some basic stuff. Then we had a downstairs, which is just crawling right now. Why is Mr. Krabs here? So many Mr. Krabs. Are they attacking me? I can't tell. Seems kind of like it.
No, jeez. Many
bunch
are-
of just helmet
Oh, there's
crab.
no light source on it.
I see. This was no, I think we had an alloy kiln in the tier 1 cave.
Yes.
And it
they brought it over.
moved here.
This is another way to make steel.
And then this was the first location where dark magic stuff was done, but we'll discuss that more later once we see the modern dark magic room. And some
It's a tad
random,
bit larger.
random chests I had. No, there are random chests everywhere. Life before computers is difficult when you're used to living with computers.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, this was age
where is it?
age 2.
Ah, yes. Evil dark gems.
Dark gems.
Remember how many of those we crushed down to get a single bloody
yeah.
glowstone dust?
Mm-hmm. We got some fun things in this tier.
Oh, he figured it out. Oh no!
Wait, how did you kill me? I was
Creative mode.
creative.
Creative mode doesn't
Oh,
protect
creative
you from
mode
Sword of the
doesn't
Cosmos.
protect you from Sword of the Cosmos. Wait, so it actually... Wait, but it takes multiple hits to kill her when she's in survival, so it actually... it's
Oh, I
easier
wasn't
to
wearing
kill
my
her when
armor.
she's... Oh, okay, never mind then. I would find that really hilarious if it made it easier to kill her when she's in creative.
It was easier to kill her when she was invincible.
So, if we look here, we got our first iteration of jetpack going on. That was quite nice. Fluid transposer, of course. Some better smelters. Some potions. I think Mark mostly
Backpacks.
went through potions. Yes,
Hey, Mark,
backpacks.
look at me
We
in
got the
Survivor
rare
real quick so
backpack.
can
I
take
think
the
Nate
rest of
might
the
still
stuff off.
have his backpack.
Oh, I still have my backpack. See, it's in my baubles right here. Epic backpack.
Yeah, it's been
Well,
upgraded
it's
a couple
99
times, but that is the
stacks.
original one that I built.
Yep. Yep.
Alright, we're good now.
Then lunar panel, which is interesting.
It's a panel that works
some
at
of
night.
these, like the manual mill, some extra utility stuff we used a little bit.
I know.
Now here we'll discuss the empower and display stands in a minute. Windmill, watermill, furnace generator, culinary generator, you know, some more generators. There were drills in here. We didn't use that much, but this was, yes.
Everything is
Our
purple.
quarries.
I can't
Vertical,
see.
the vertical digger. Let's actually just go talk about that now. Oh.
Kayla.
What? Who's doing stuff to screw with the server?
No one.
Oh.
Not that I know of, at least. I'm just getting piggybacked.
Just click shift.
So,
I know.
Why is there a little guy?
you
Mark-
built a structure on top of where
don't
the
know.
quarry was.
But he's angry at you now.
So this,
He's so
I don't
small.
know how the structure spawned in, but someone spawned a structure on top of where our first quarry was. You can see from down here, that this was our first quarry. So here, you know, this basic drill, vertical digger, lens of the miner, phantom booster, allowed us to do this. So this, you know, carving out all of this was done automatically. And we came to realize that this was a really terrible idea. Because we had chests upon chests upon chests of just marble, sand, granite, all this crap that honestly, quite frankly, my dear, I couldn't give a damn.
Yeah.
So, and then also water. Water.
Oh, yeah. And that'd be really laggy because it'd be filling in all this empty
Yep.
space. and-
So we
Yep.
we figured out though to change the quarry to do ores only, and that made it nicer. And there were many spots in here that we moved the quarry around. I can probably find the quarry vertical digger somewhere over here-ish. Maybe not. It was a good friend. For a
And she
while
was a
it
good
was
Isn't this the
our
quarry?
best no, this is somewhere the quarry was at some point. So you can see we would put it into these
think-
chests, and eventually we had ender chests too.
See, I think this thing
Send
is
it away.
over the hole.
Here it is. This is our quarry. Yep, the vertical digger. and the phantom boosters, and a tier 3 solar panel, because we were getting bougie.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, this thing really, like, in the early mid-game, the vertical digger is what kept our resources alive.
Mm.
So that was quite something. The display stands. So this was a goddamn nightmare, but we'll just explain this. So here, for a while, the most high-tier materials that we were working with had to be empowered. And empowering was for a long time, very long and difficult process.
It was horrible. Nobody wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For good
So
reason.
then no one wanted to do it, so they just made me do it.
So we did a lot of it. So there were plenty of things we needed empowered: diamantine blocks, palace crystal blocks, emerald blocks. So you would have to put, the base version of the block here, surround it with some other blocks, and then let this thing cook. But the thing was, the other blocks could be quite difficult to acquire. So,
Like
for
bloody
instance, if we go through here and we say empowered diamantine block, we would go to the empower and we'd surround it with terrasteel, redstone, infused glowstone, and inert blood iron. So this blood-infused glowstone, this 9 blood-infused glowstone dust, which at the time we didn't have access to this. We didn't have access to this. We had access to this, not that, not that, and not that, and this. So what we had to do was crush dark gems, and there's a 2% chance
These wires are live,
of getting a blood-infused glowstone dust from 1 dark gem. So there was a 50% probability of getting 1 blood-infused glowstone dust after, I think, going through like 40-something dark gems. And we needed 9 of those for one of these. So with all the empowered diamantine crystal, we may well have crushed tens of thousands of dark gems, purely for the purpose of getting some diamantine, empowered
At least we
diamantine
were growing
blocks.
it. Once we
Why
had
is
enough for us
Nate's
to eat.
Cosmo Sword red? It's usually blue.
Well,
Mine's red.
'cause
It changes
Well,
sometimes.
then we had a couple more of these
Blue on my
smelteries.
screen.
This
That's
is a
blue.
juicy smeltery. This is a big smeltery. There are tons of stuff in here.
Oh yeah,
This
that one is a workhorse.
the Coal Maker 2000. You want to
This was
explain
a
this?
better charcoal maker. It's made
This was
out
a
of the
better
best
charcoal
materials
maker.
that science could develop. Ash bricks.
Ash bricks.
Ashbringer.
The Ashbringer.
Then we had Kayla did a lot of Botania stuff out here, so there's some Botania stuff. Some also not Botania stuff is what it is.
All sorts of magical stuff was out
Plenty
here.
of plants. And we
Mage's
see
Workshop.
some of these things. The Mage's Workshop, which I eventually did use to build something that I'll show you later. Fluid White Essence, Molten Osco Glass,
It was
Dark
needed
Essence.
for something.
Stone Tank. Yeah, so
That has starlight. Yeah.
next, also you see just some generators, energy cubes, some basic stuff here. This is, I believe, where you made rubber.
Yes.
Tree
Small
fluid
plastic.
extractor, small plastic rubber. This was the first version of the mystical agriculture farming. The server is lagging a lot right now. I'm not sure why.
Is it?
I'm fine.
Well, I'm
No, no,
stuck
it is-
waiting
it
for
is-
server. Maybe
It is
just
lagging a little
put
bit.
it on peaceful for now.
Okay.
We can put it back with enemies when we're to a place that we care about enemies. Okay, that
Yeah.
seemed to fix it. Yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
just
it's back on
leave it on that.
Yeah, I
for,
don't know what
for a
happened to
bit.
the backside of my farm here. It was really
Meteorite.
pretty.
Yep.
I see.
So
If
here,
there's ever a hole, assume meteorite.
I believe, yeah, we got more tech. We got basic CPU cores. We had some coolant going on. Fractionating still, other fun tech, enrichment chamber. So you got that in tier 2. So that was involved in a now 3 or 4 item pipeline.
Tier 2 or Age 2 was also when we went
Age
to
2.
the Twilight Forest.
Yes,
That's why the
so
portal is over here.
yeah, so we'll go there. There's also the Erebus portal right beside it, but we did not go to the Erebus in tier 2, I'm pretty sure.
It was tier 3, and that was because we started seeing how bullshit the server
Yep.
was, and I needed to
So we can take this time to go to the Twilight
give us
Forest
something.
and see everything that we saw. I think this is a good tradition that we do on every mod pack. I think the Twilight Forest is just good. And if you're knowledgeable enough of the Twilight Forest, then you can accomplish most of what you want to accomplish within like 2 streaming sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just fly around, look at the map here, and you see there are all kinds of stuff. We really explored a ways. I'll just show you on the mini-map and then maybe go fight one. Like this is the Naga Maze. Here, the Labyrinth, that's the Minotaur Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Then over here another Naga Maze. And let's see, up here, this is the Ergast Tower, which it's always, when you're low tech and only have basic, almost like vanilla-ish Minecraft equipment, the Ergast Tower is quite difficult to clear. It has some puzzles and some jumping puzzles that are by no means trivial.
And you can't really cheat because they have anti-cheat mechanisms.
Yeah, they have anti-cheat mechanisms. This is the final tower. Maybe someday or in another version it'll be done.
It'll actually have something. Yeah.
Yeah. For now it's empty.
And of course, in this pack, we didn't just come here for killing the bosses, which is always fun. No. In this pack, certain ores only spawn in the Twilight
certain
Forest.
ores only spawn, like mana infused.
Yeah, stuff like that. That was a big one.
So there were a number of bosses we can look through. Just check with the Wild Hunt. Yeah, there was, let's see, what was in here? The Naga, the Alpha Yeti, found in the Frozen Mountains. Ergast, there was also Lich and Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ice Queen, Snow Ice Queen.
Ice Bitch.
Yeah, Ice Bitch.
She's annoying. You can only hit her from above, but she only flies above you, so you can only hit the bottom, and that doesn't work. So you have to get around it. And you don't have like flight yet. It's actually kind of difficult.
So yeah, I mean this. We had these Naga mazes, and there were some difficult fights in here, especially since we'd be fighting the bosses whilst also having zombies shooting guns at us and such.
Yeah.
We'll say. Yeah, they're getting better shields was a big deal. Like this, there's an advanced ballistic shield that I got, I think, either late tier 2 or early tier 3 that would block bullets if I was pointed in the right direction. So that was a big deal. That allowed me to actually live, because otherwise, the tech guns mobs, that's the mod that most of them are from.
We got chased around the Twilight Forest a lot by some psycho with a
chainsaw. Yes, the
Remember him?
chainsaw guy. He was something else.
At least he wasn't hard to find. You could hear him coming.
You
yeah,
could
but
hear
he
him
was going
coming.
to find you, and he was going to kill you.
This is where a Hydra would be. In this little
Here, 1
side of a
second,
mountain
Nate.
cave.
I'll give you a little fight. I wonder how this is actually going to work. Is it going to bypass it? Oh.
Oh, we're still in
it's not.
peaceful.
I'm curious how this actually works. 1 second. There we go.
So yeah, the Hydra there.
Oh, he's angry. You'll one-shot a head, but we one-shot the Hydra. No! You can only one-shot the head. It must be how the Hydra is coded. There it goes. He has something
Okay.
vital.
Just take out the heads. Go for the head. That's how to do it.
Shoot.
Of course, when you don't have things like an infinity sword and flight capabilities, that was non-trivial
Anybody want some
fight.
hydra
I
chunks?
think we had like just normal weapons at the time.
Yeah, I
We
think
had I had some guns that we had wrested from the zombie.
maybe some
farmers and
basic
such.
guns.
But I think it was like Tinker's weapons or something.
Yeah, we had Tinker's weapons as well.
We had Tinker's
Mm,
weapons, but
hydra
not
chunks.
the really good ones.
Delicious.
And yeah, so there were some good memories of the Twilight Forest. I think that's something that will probably just go in just about every mod pack we play.
I don't know if
mean,
it'll be in the
it's-
next one. I don't know if Twilight Forest is updated for that new of Minecraft. We'll see.
Oh, we're playing new Minecraft. I see.
Yeah, because that's where Kayla gets her bees. In
And
new
yeah,
Minecraft.
there's just all kinds of stuff. I of course remember many hours just running around the Twilight Forest trying to find where the next bosses were.
Yep,
But
we didn't have
it's
flight.
a good time.
We had slingshots.
It is
Or,
a
sorry,
good
slings.
time. Okay,
It's a classic.
it is a classic.
Everybody do slash
Oh.
home to get back to the real world.
If you're ever looking for a straightforward adventure boss, go through, it's a good idea. So yeah, this was our house through age 2. There's also this little room over here. Was this like a stables or something like that? Don't remember.
Yeah, that's where Kayla kept Astraios.
Okay.
Wait, where is he?
No, he's not here right now, but
He should
Probably
be.
quite
Oh
dead.
no, you killed him
how?
with all entities.
Oh, but I was in space. I don't think it counted on that dimension.
I bet it did.
I don't think it does.
Anyway, we wrapped up.
Look, I'll bring him back, Kayla, but I had to do it to save the server.
It's fine.
We wrapped
this
up
is the
tier
end.
2 by getting thermionic fabricator, which we used, but honestly not that much. I think it was maybe a little bit of an oversell to call the thermionic fabricator the end all be all of this pack or this age.
It was mostly because it let us develop more things after it.
We had an engineering workbench, which we'll see, and tier 4 solar panels. Then, for the next stage, we moved to what, by and large, was our final house. We stayed in here for most of the rest of the game. Of course, it's
Big
not
renovation.
exactly a house; it's a bunker.
It's a nuclear bunker. We had to be
there were-
prepared.
Bunker.
There were too many meteorites, so
Too many meteorites, too many strong mobs. You see here some gun turrets. Nice, nice. Those were, of course, the basic turrets would shoot at enemies for us. Why do you people use the elevator? Just
This
drop.
was a huge tech advance when I built this.
Yes, getting the elevator was a big deal. So now we have
Oh.
rooms again.
Don't look at the wall.
Kayla and Mark gave up on trying when they made their bedroom there. Here, yeah, there was some RBMK console. This is just for show. We didn't actually make an RBMK reactor.
why does that show through?
And now we can
Because
see part of the wall.
Super powerful.
Because we did have these storage drawers. So we started making these storage drawers, which really upped our storage.
And
As we
kind of
move
kept it
to
a little organized.
a little organized, as we move to tier 3. I believe we started off down here with just this copper solenoid. Let's see, where was the computer in here?
I don't even think it was in. It might have been by tier 3. Might have been tier 4.
It might have been tier 4. So yeah, for a while we just had
Yeah, we were this tier was like reactors and such. We didn't have computers yet. We had analog technology a lot right now.
these drawers. And there was
Oh,
a
these
connection that we could get the stuff out of the door. Then as we go
ones.
back through this tier, we see there's a better jetpack. There's, I think, a better jetpack in most tiers.
Mhm.
Improved coolants, electric motors, copper solenoids. The rolling machine. The rolling machine was a big deal. It's still
That's
here.
nice.
It's nowadays it's pretty outdated, but this allowed us to, build a lot more advanced materials. We go through, we see diamond chest, that's big. Increasing storage is always nice. Elite bin. Reinforced alloy, better
Better
tech
energy
stuff.
storage. There's another solar
Better story.
panel.
Another solar panel.
Advanced alloy smeltery. That's always
Advanced alloy smelting factory. So that is what we see right here. This was our first, notable multi-block, I think.
Mhm.
So you could put alloys in here, you would put, well, sometimes alloys and sometimes just
alloys.
ingots in there, and you would get the result out the back, and it consumed both energy and lava. And yeah, this really allowed us to make some things both faster and more efficiently than if we were trying to do so with tinkers.
And
At
this time we
point,
cared about efficiency.
we cared about efficiency very much. Speaking of efficiency, something from the last age, which got moved to this house, is this pipeline. So this 4-item pipeline, or processing pipeline of elite I'll just say purifying factory, into crushing factory, into enriching factory, into smelting factory. So if
Kayla
you
actually built it.
go through and you look at how this operated, you start with an ore, so say iron ore, and you would put the ore into first the purification chamber, and the purification chamber would turn it into clumps, and then the clumps you would put through the crusher, which would become dirty iron or dirty dust. Then the dirty dust you would put through enrichment to become normal, like pulverized dust. And then the normal pulverized dust would go through the smelter at the end to become the ingots.
Yeah.
So this let us turn 1 ore into 3 ingots, and that was a very big deal. And then we had, this logistical.
Was my first
This was
ore
like our
processing
maintenance
setup.
area because we had a lot of trouble with.
It doesn't run right
first
now because
ore-
it doesn't need
ore
to.
processing.
But this would come from all of Nate's phantom miners,
from the
whatever they were called.
quarries.
Yeah, the quarries.
The quarries would go into here and then go to the wall. Also, we have this advanced logistical transporter, which sucks the ingots out and takes them to the wall. However, this thing was a bane of our existence because every time the chunk has to reload, the connections would break, and we would have to go through and reconnect all of
to look for the break.
look for the breaks. I eventually came to know precisely where the breaks were, though it's been a little bit, so I don't remember as much off the top of my head. Yeah, one there. And then back here, this feeds, the last one was right here, and it would feed into the wall. So right now, we're back behind the wall. Don't worry about those 12 things that I'm seeing through solid material. We'll discuss those in a bit, because that's quite a story.
Attention.
They demand attention, but all in due time. So that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in here setting up these pipes for everything,
Oh yeah. Then
and then fixing them as they
metallurgic
inevitably.
infusers. As Mark noted, another big thing in Tier 3 was reactors. So Tier 3 is when we did our little bit of nuclear craft.
Indeed.
So I will go downstairs and show you
What's a Fallout style bunker without a nuclear reactor?
what we did. Energy production.
Yep.
So in this room, don't mind that, look at this. So this was our very first nuclear reactor. It got some upgrades in terms of what was inside, but we never made a bigger one. Maybe I'll just do that individually.
With all the dragon eggs.
And yeah, we would black mesa power switch to turn it on and off. There is no fuel in it right now, so it's pointless to turn it on. But we could, for old time's sake, just turn it on, crank it up.
It won't explode, will it?
And now it's cooking. No, negative 86 heat. That means, we are successfully cooling it down and generates 1600 RF per tick. So now at this stage,
That was
let's
quite a bit.
see. At this stage, yeah, what was the solar panel in this tier? Solar
There's
panel
one
in this
down.
tier was tier 6.
That
I
was the
don't
max
think
one,
we
yeah.
were to tier 6 yet.
I think we're
So
at T6 or T5.
that means at the time we made this this reactor, we were at a tier 5 solar panel. So the tier 5 solar panel, yeah, 4096 FE per tick. So this was not actually even as good as that, but it did buffer it well.
And it would work when it wasn't daytime.
And it would work when it wasn't daytime.
No, not the grotto.
Grottles die, it is known. Also, there was our
Sit
first
down.
stage. There was a just overwhelming wall of lava generators because these are
Infinite and cheap.
infinite and cheap, but not very much electricity. I remember Mark making so many osmium plates to put these together.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Yeah, I
then we had the Elite Energy Cube. You'll note there's also the Tier 6 solar panel and the Tier 7 solar panel. The Tier 7 solar panel being basically at the end of Tier 3. And we had 1600 RF per tick. Tier 7 solar panel is 8000. So, and it also stores 64 million. So, for a good while, our main source of energy, quote-unquote, production was having a Tier 7 solar panel outside, and then when it was full, bringing it down here and just setting it next to this energy cube, and then once it got depleted, picking it back up, going up, waiting for it to recharge, and bringing it back down, and so on and so forth. So not exactly the most desirable system, but the entire power grid of this bunker, I believe, more or less runs through this energy cube.
It does. Yep. And
Of course, that was before we had wireless charging.
We got that in the next tier, which
we'll
is
discuss the
great.
next tier, yeah.
This
This
was
room-
Kayla's attempt at infinite energy as well.
It
And it
worked for
does
a while
work.
till Mark said I couldn't do it anymore.
Well, it was a bit cheaty.
A little bit.
So don't you dare use the elevator, just
made
fly like a normal person.
Yeah, but I like using the elevator. We worked so hard making the elevator shaft.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the other things we did in this age. We did some stuff with chemicals. We can go, that's down in here. Mark, do you want to, just give
Oh,
a
yes,
little ditty about all your chemical shenanigans?
Yeah, we had our dissolver and combiner. This is where I would take random Minecraft blocks and break them down into base elements, like in this diamond chest. You can see that there's a lot of different elements from the
There's a
periodic table.
lot of different elements. Yep.
And you would need a lot of them to do stuff. Like silicon was required because you couldn't just make silicon through normal means, because the silicon ore that you
Oh,
could
no.
find in this dimension was the wrong kind of silicon ore. It was not the kind of silicon you required to use. So to make silicon, you had to get it from other means, but you only had silicon from certain things, and it wasn't very efficient. And yeah, like I said, everything in this pack is, as you can even see, there's silicon in this chemical combiner, making the silicon required as
Yep.
point of fact. Everything in this
Eventually,
pack
we got the proper
just
silicon, but
pulls you.
that took a while. Also, some
Constant.
nuclear craft stuff. This is isotope separator, so this is where we would put the uranium to get the materials for the fuel.
Indeed.
Also, we had advanced crafting tables by this point. Ignore that. And elite crafting tables by this point.
Yep.
Other things which were going on around this time. Let's see. The iridium production. I know Mark did that mostly.
Iridium is bullshit.
Iridium production up front was quite an ordeal.
Because you can't just find iridium ore. It says it exists. No, that's not a real thing.
No.
Instead, what you need to do is make these things, and you make thermoconducting alloy, which is a relatively high-level nuclear craft ingot from, and then I would ask Nate for that. And then I'd combine it with the essence of the gods. Yeah, and if that name sounds flowery and over the top, it's because, well, it is. But it's important. You get it from melting majestic dust, which is combined from white magic and dark magic dust. Get used to hearing those things. And each of those is complicated in its own way to find its materials. And certain things are just time-gated because, for instance, the white magic dust requires wax from bees. And bees only produce wax so often.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Stardust was the most efficient way of making it, but Stardust was impossible because, of course, this pack turned off the easy way to make Stardust and instead made you go through almost the entirety of Astral Sorcery to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's just...
Oh, yeah. Another thing we did this age, well, there's the engineer's workbench we had, but we made the industrial blast furnace. So this let us cook the stuff that required uber heat. So this improved our steel production, but also allowed us to finally make things like aluminum and titanium and some of that good stuff.
I just like the progression here. We never got to like 14, 15, or 16 times compress.
And then Mark made a lot of other immersive engineering stuff in here, primarily towards the end of creating circuits. So you want to just explain these machines?
Yeah, so we needed circuits by the actual thousands, and the creosote oil would soak materials, the wood materials, to turn them into treated wood planks, which was the only kind of wood that is used in immersive engineering. This workbench over here would combine like copper ingots and insulative glass blocks to make the basic level of circuits, but that was never good enough for our pack, so you needed to then turn them into a bath, chemical bath, and you would put them in here and they would slowly... Here, I'll even show you the actual animation, because it's kind of cool that you get an actual animation with it, in my opinion. There you go. It would pick it up, drop it in the etching acid, and it would turn it into the advanced version. And we need literally thousands
Oh, yeah.
of these. That's not an exaggeration. And in multiple thousands, maybe tens of thousands by the time we were all done with it, to be completely honest.
And then, yeah.
Oh no, I accidentally killed Mikoto. Sorry. Oh, make you back again.
Nani?
For some reason,
Yeah.
this gives me night vision in here.
Something, if you stand in it, gives you night vision.
So it gives me also corrosion, but...
Yeah, you're standing in acid. And these materials back here were for making all this basically self-sufficient. So we had generation of salt, and then the salt turns into sodium, and then the sodium is combined to make sodium... What was it? It was sodium something sulfate, and then that's combined, and this was like making xenon and argon. It was complicated. It is just an absolute bollock
this
to play
was
this
just
pack.
like production of the acid for the most part back here. Okay.
And most of the other stuff on the back wall was auto production of, well, I say auto production, somewhat fast production of dark and light dust, which was requiring xenon and argon.
And over here we see, making cobblestone, because here in this pack you can compress certain things, and we were compressing cobblestone, and it's currently...
We
Okay,
finished.
Mark.
I put in the last couple.
16 compressed cobblestone. So this right here is a very good pickaxe. The bismuth pickaxe is one of the top pickaxes in nuclear craft. So this is I don't know, magnitudes faster than a diamond pickaxe in terms of mining speed. And I could sit here, like, if you had a diamond pickaxe, I don't know, it could literally take even months to break this.
Yep.
Now...
I mean, we're approaching, like, Schwarzschild radius.
Yeah, even the World Breaker. The Pickaxe of Infinity cannot touch this, really. That is how Giga broken it is. Like I could detonate the Tsar Bomba right next to this 16 compressed cobblestone, and it would probably be just fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine. The rest of the base wouldn't, but
The rest of the base wouldn't. Okay, so going back to tier 3, there was a lot of, I'd say tier 3 was really, if one tier had to be called the Industrial Revolution,
yeah,
I would say it was tier 3. And we closed it off by completing the Iridium, getting our solar panel tier 7. So now we could proceed on to tier 4, but I want to take a bit of a segue and just discuss some other things right quick. Protectors of the Earth, you've seen a little bit of this. We had grenades and the gun turrets, and we didn't really use the gun turrets much because we just kept things so lit up, and we also were on peaceful a decent amount for lag issues. We only turned mobs on when we needed to.
Because we found out that meteorites are considered entities, and so if we kept it on peaceful, we wouldn't be bombed.
Yeah. Another thing,
We came back one day and like half of our base was destroyed down here because of the meteorites.
Because of meteorites, they're
and
a
then
menace.
a creeper had exploded or something. So Mark and I had spent like the next several hours like fixing everything in our base to be back where it was.
So next up, we're going to hand off the spotlight to Kayla for a bit.
Oh gosh.
As you come over here and see where she was working on some botania and mystical agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had all this stuff over at the other building, but since we were coming down here, I had packed up and tried to organize the best I could to make it as efficient as possible.
I can't say this.
One of the first things we made was this thing, which was a mana generator. So you'd put coal up in the top, and then as it came down, it would just burn it and then give it to us in the mana pools.
And this would run out because there's no real good way of
this ran
a
out
lot of mana,
quickly.
and we needed this to make Terra Steel.
Well, during this, I had also started the mystical plants, and so right in here was where I had like a little mini coal essence farm to try to keep that going.
And then eventually...
It was very slow, but I did do my best. And we also we started building this portal.
To do what?
I forgot what it was called.
Oh my god.
The portal to
Like
Alpine.
the Elven portal.
So you don't actually go through here. You would
eventually
instead.
they want.
Yeah, there's stuff in it, and the gods on the other side send you things back as payment.
The elves give you stuff. They want that eventually to be its own dimension to explore, but that's been that way for years. And then Kayla expanded mystical agriculture.
Yeah, I kind of stayed in my little hidey hole. There's a secret thing down here.
So yeah, this
became the new farm for everything that we could kind of automate and just grow.
Yeah, I mean,
this was very useful before we got anything better than this.
Here?
Nate needed soybeans.
Oh.
Tofu, remember the kitchen stuff at the very end?
This is interesting.
What?
All the stuff in the pipe.
Soybeans.
Yeah. Suddenly got full.
Yeah.
see.
This. Oh, there's more in here. Okay.
Yeah, we got all
This
the way
was-
from stone.
Because we had the cloches, we needed pigs, which there's only 2 in here now for some reason, to make sewage, which would put it into the cloches. And then I got a little XP shower over here because, you know.
And
Why
see
not?
all of the stuff that could be made: wood, stone, nature, ice, zombie seeds. Next tier,
didn't-
coal.
Weren't able to get too much into like the mob seeds
mob
just because it was
seeds,
so
yeah.
difficult to get to the mobs, because half the time once you turn the mobs on, you'd just get gunned down by like a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh, Kayla, yeah.
Yeah.
Then tier
And
2
keep in mind that during all this time, Nate and I would have to make frequent forays back into the Nether
into the Nether.
with mobs
Yeah,
on because
which-
we needed certain
Like a-
things.
We will also go
Like,
to
here
the
or something.
we'll also go to the Nether before tier 4. So tier 2 we had
Yes.
coal, rubber, copper, mineral, mystical. Tier 3 obsidian, iron, electrotine, dark gem, silicon, sulfur, glowstone, blizz.
Dark gem
Tier
was nice because
4?
we still needed
Yeah, we
thousands of
still
those
needed to
for-
crush the dark gems. Tier 4, we got mithril, special infused iron, steel, boron, ruby, blaze, aluminum, and alumite. Tier 5, refined obsidian, chrome, star metal, uranium, aquamarine, diamond, emerald, manilian, titanium. And then tier 6, terra steel, nether star, dragon egg seeds, which I just find hilarious.
Don't worry about
Awakened
those.
draconium
Those
seeds, neutronium seeds, and tungsten seeds.
I was like the
So
fact that we
we
grow
can-
neutronium. The
Yeah, we
densest
grow
material in
neutronium.
existence.
Yeah, no worries.
But that one he skipped over said first, the Terra Steel. That was the bane
Yes.
of this room's existence for literal months. I would come back after a while and be like, oh, is there enough mana? And it'd be enough to make a single ingot. And the
Yeah.
goal was to get to 40 to make Terra Steel seeds. But then it required more than just that. It needed also other materials that we couldn't do. And you also needed Terra Steel for things in this pack because why the hell not make a nuclear reactor component require a magical metal? Because
That was a lot of like these sub quests though, like with this room and the next room over, the blood magic. Like
I don't need a weapon.
so much of it was
My friends
you'd
are
get
my
through it,
power.
you're like,
Ah,
yeah,
hello,
hitting it
hello.
good, and then all of a
Long-time
sudden
viewer,
it's like, well,
first-time
I can't.
subscriber. I was just
Like,
wondering if I
Brian.
could get a
Yeah.
shout out for my sick news broadcasting
Sick Noobs
compilation.
broadcasting compilation. Yeah, our friend
Oh,
Brian
yeah.
is starting a new job tonight. Everybody, wish him luck, and sure he'll do fine. Doesn't need anything to worry about. We're just doing a recap of the series, Brian. We'll be free in a bit to do our dailies.
Ah. So
Yeah, but during this time we also did start blood magic in force, and then Kayla, you can take us in. Yeah, there's a. It looks like this is just a
I gotta,
wall.
Like, line myself up. Like
Yeah,
this
exactly.
circle. I'm gonna go straight, otherwise I'll miss it every time. Alright, so it started way up here.
This
Not
altar's a
all
bit
these
bigger than
fancy
the other
stuff,
one.
Like, this was just like me and a little like sacrificial dagger that I would like murder myself on numerous times.
that she did do that quite a bit.
Yep. She wasn't supposed to kill herself. She was only supposed to hurt herself, but
No,
Nice.
I get too into it and then accidentally, oopsie, I did a kill. But yeah, I spent a lot of time in this room, like working down the blood magic line, getting a whole bunch of stuff together, and frequently getting my backpack deleted of all my things, and
that's true. That also did happen.
happened a lot. It happened more often than it needed to, but I did not have
That's
the
a
best
nice
like
little-
connection.
That was also
Blood
when she
magic
started
stuff.
wearing sandwiches as armor.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, for the longest time, my game like messed up, and so I had like a sandwich on my head as my headpiece. Reasons we don't know why, but eventually it fixed itself.
Again, don't mind the 12 things that we're seeing through the walls.
It's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
But yeah, this was a blood magic room. A lot of dark stuff. I mean, they say women are witches. So
Things are still dying in this secret room beyond the secret room.
was
It's like-
that room a tier 3 thing? I don't remember if there was 3 or
don't
4.
No.
I kind of think it was because we made this room after the Erebus.
It's either tier 3 or tier 4. I can't find it in the It might be tier 4. This is pretty advanced, just spawning
Yeah.
shit.
So that's
Yeah, it's tier 4.
white magic, mystical agriculture, and black magic discussed. Ores, alloys, and smeltery was really hilarious because we didn't do most of this stuff is mostly tinkers, but we didn't use tinkers to do it in large part. So this quest line was actually backed up, and then there was like one day when Mark just did all of it because we already had all this stuff for the most part.
Yep.
And
There's just
yeah,
a matter
that
of
was
looking for it
funny.
in the computer.
Yeah, a lot of it was like alloy these things together. It's like, well, we already have that. so-
Kitchen workshop early on in the game was a Kayla thing, but then Mark became Chef Ramsay.
Yep.
And that was
Yeah,
another
they
thing.
tried to put me in the
Yeah,
kitchen,
that was,
and I did not stay in the kitchen.
A couple of these quest lines we more or less put off, and then didn't do them until like late tier 5, at which point they were too easy.
Yeah,
They're
but
still
it was also
slow,
nice
though.
to have
They're still
like
slow.
some easy ones like ready for us. So like when we were just fed up with like how difficult they were getting, we're like, okay, let's just do like 10 of these easy quests.
Yeah, they had to get
Okay.
done at some point.
So, moving on then to tier 4. As I
Did you want to go to
said,
the Nether?
okay, yeah, let's never mind. Let's go to another first. Show they don't know what's what with another. Do. Also
Nether's back
the
in the factory house.
concrete roads. Oh wait, we should also show the factory building.
Yes, I built
Right.
that.
That started in tier 3, right? I think
Kayla
so.
and I. Yeah, the factory is definitely tier 3 still.
Anyway, Nether. I'm there.
The stuff on top.
I'm at the Nether and I'm going to sheep. This horn is
Oh my lord.
majestic.
He's just Baz.
Anyway, we had this little protective building. And then we would go out here and look around and not fly because we couldn't at the time. But you can see where multiple other nether portals that we had that got deactivated were.
Yeah, that would be, I think, cyber demons.
These
that
were
kept turning them off.
not great spots for nether portals, to be honest. But yeah, you see here blazing juggernauts. Then yeah, this is what we're talking about, the military.
Rare turtling, zombie pigman, soldier of traps. Oh my god, Astolfo got into the seals.
Yeah, and then there were multiple directions in which we would go. I know one that I went many times on the travels would just be through here, going over this way, seeing what there is to see, getting shot at. Yeah, those were cyber demons. Cyber demons are not fun. And the military would be everywhere, and we would just die a lot. We would die a lot. Let's be honest here.
That's not the most fun thing that we did in the Nether.
The most
no.
fun thing we
This
did-
way, this over here, we had to find a certain ore for a quest.
Osram.
Yes, Osram, and you know where it spawns? At the bottom of the world in the lava lakes of the Nether. Oh, but you're thinking, so you could just walk out there. You see these little fuckers? These little red octopi in the lava? These guys suck.
Yep. So
Because if you're in survival mode and not in creative, so they don't have reason to not fear you, they do that, and they are completely invincible as they do that, and they light you up. At the same time, you're getting lit up by cyber demons and SEAL team and more of these fuckers, and you're trying to balance on this bridge
how are you alive, good sir?
in the lava as you're getting shot from all angles. Oh, and it's not like Osram is a particularly soft material either. That means it's quick to mine. No, you're there for, 10, 20 seconds mining everything.
And then the Osram could also just immediately fall into the lava and die. So
Yep,
we
you
would
have to
have
be
to use
quick enough to grab it.
exchangers most of the time. Yeah, so all of these white dots were Osram.
Yep.
So yeah, the Nether is quite an experience. Is there anything else I wanted to?
I'm just Mikotoing everyone.
Wanted
Or
to
Misikoing everyone.
wanted to highlight with the Nether. Was there anything else of note here? I mean, there are the Nether fortresses, and the Nether fortresses.
The Nether fortresses are even worse because they have
They're
spawners
even
in them.
worse.
So not only do you get everything you're normally fighting, you get everything else.
Oh, Ultra Webbing Cyber Demon the Flipper.
Yeah, over
killed him,
here.
how rude.
You can actually
you
see
see?
some of the
There's all the
leftovers.
withers. There feel like
Trying
there
to
were more
farm.
withers than possible, but all the other stuff as well. Oh, experience. Let's see how much experience do I gather just by running around. Honestly, less than I was hoping for. Of course, now it's all trivial because I have full infinity armor, so none of these things can hurt me, but nonetheless. Back in the day, when it was like, you know, diamond armor or something, this
Now that
would
we're
be
just
really
completing the
tough to survive in.
the refreshing
The
mob
refreshing
killing
mob
quests.
killing quests, yeah. And
Don't
you
worry,
can
guys,
see
we
on my
actually
mini
completed
map, you see all those deaths there on the top right. Yeah, this place was
But we needed
it
it
was
because
rough. We needed
that was
it.
the only place that certain things spawned in. Like we needed wither bones. I know we needed wither skeleton skulls to summon the wither to make nether stars because we didn't have enough we didn't have the ability to spawn them in yet.
And then we had some fun things, like this was a ghast spawner over here.
Yeah, as the ghast queen comes out of
The
it.
Urn of Sorrow.
Yeah, this place is hell. I mean, it lives up to its name.
Especially like with this mod pack. Like,
Yep.
the nether's already fairly hard. But then you give everything big gun, and it's kind of early in your journey.
Yep. The
Hey,
game was
ghast.
not fair.
There we go. Got him. The right way.
Boom. I don't know. I used a sniper rifle once to shoot a fireball back at them, and that felt pretty MLG.
Yeah, I mean the nether was just it was quite something. Yeah, more just I mean I don't think there were any. Yeah, you can see like this is what Osram looks like when it hasn't been mined, so that was always fun to get. There weren't I don't think any like special structures in the nether.
Not
From
really.
the mod pack, but it was definitely much more difficult than vanilla nether because of all the extra nonsense. Oh, another ghast spawner. Okay. Anything else you want to discuss about the nether?
No, it just sucked, and we hated coming here every time.
It sucked and we hated coming here every time. You heard it here, folks.
There was a foxhound.
And home.
Mark, look at the creature again.
Yeah, I summoned them.
So, next tier,
Hellhound.
tier 4. Main quest line. Start off
Computer
with
line.
Blaze Electron Tube, which lets us get the better computer. And where is the computer? Was that computer even a quest?
Yeah, it was. We had two choices. We either could build one computer or the other computer. It was in
A previous
Quest.
age.
I don't remember where it was. It's age 2, but building it in any sort of actual storage level was useless at that age because they didn't have
okay.
materials to make.
Yeah, ME Drive. So
Yep.
we actually did technically have this computer back in age 3 as well. It just was terrible.
Yes.
But yeah, now you see we have, this is a big old computer, and you can go in here. There's a crafting terminal. I'll just shove a lot of stuff in there because why not? We have, we are in a post-scarcity society. And yeah, you can see we have just a lot of things. Now the amounts in here are actually much less than in the other computer, which we'll discuss at the end or after tier 4, which is in space, which is what tier 4 was ultimately about.
I
So
did start
yeah,
making some cursed items, and
there's a lot of essence. There's a lot of
These
soybeans.
there are a lot of soybeans. I mean, we do live in Cali. I mean, maybe don't dox myself.
So yeah, tier 4. Going back.
This was the
We
computer
had,
age.
uh,
We started actually advancing tech to a pretty decent level.
Mhm.
Oh, highly advanced machine frames. Those were fun. Those required like
Oh,
titanium,
yeah.
and titanium took
Titanium and
actual
chrome.
forever to cook.
Yes,
And there was no way to
because
cook it faster because it could only be made in this industrial blast furnace, and there is no
it
way
was
to
in
make it
here.
faster.
And if we look at the recipes, titanium is right here, and it took, 180 seconds per ingot.
Yep.
And we needed,
Every single time.
just for that quest line, we needed 80 ingots. So that's 80.
140 minutes.
240
4 hours.
4 hours. Just for getting the titanium ingots.
Yep.
Grand old time. Then yeah, we did do some things after that, which improved the industrial blast furnace, which was nice.
It
And
made
then
it
we
a bit
could make
faster.
we could make tungsten. Down here on the bottom, we also see black and white magic dust and majestic dust, and this buildup, which eventually led to majestic ingots,
Yep.
which is quite a big deal. Majestic ingots, and then here we have nether stars.
And it was around this time that we figured out that this pack is just unfair in terms of requirements of materials, in terms of time expected. So I dropped a new mod into the pack to try and even out some of the bullshit.
So
that
you
mod
see,
Is the
it's
Erebus.
the Erebus. So you see right after majestic ingots, just down here is this little thing called a mob slaughter factory. We'll come back to that in a moment.
It's usually not that big of a deal. It usually just like
It's
lets you
usually
make
not
like
that big
a
of a
bunch
deal.
of cows or pigs. But
So we'll go to the Erebus portal. On the way to the Erebus portal, we'll stop at this industrial factory. You'll see that there's gold and diamond ore on the floor. That's because at one point we had a special sword that was a quest reward called Katana of the Ancients or something like
Yep.
that. That would
Yep.
just turn like cobblestone and stone around you into high level ores. So yeah, here is where we got carpenters, which was a very big deal because before we had to use those workshops.
and they're very inefficient.
Yeah, the carpenters
slow.
basically served the same job, but did them much better material conversion rates. So here, this super glue carpenter has made so many microchips that you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah,
Elon
Thousands.
would get wet
Maybe-
thinking about it.
maybe
Crystal
10,000s.
It's possible.
This is the thing that would make our cables,
Crystal Team made cables.
energy cables,
Silicon made batteries. among
and other
things.
computer chips. Once the
And
transistors and
then
microchips were
here,
built.
Lumium also made better batteries.
This is just whatever was needed as well.
Yeah, Lumium was for elite batteries. Upstairs, we see some of these blast furnaces.
This was steel making.
This was steel making.
Coal coke making was this questionably immersive block over here.
Yeah, there's some slight tech issues, but it worked.
Yep.
And then
This building looks nice.
upstairs, you'll see a little pet project of mine, which is incredibly redundant by now. Oops.
Hey, Kayla.
Yeah, I did a little bit of nuclear craft stuff up here. So, in here, we have our breeding reactor here, burner press, blast furnace, some combustion generators, the assembly machine, which is the main, or HBM nuclear tech mod, its main creation, chemical plant, a tank, ore acidizer, centrifuge, player decontaminator, because you would get irradiated and it would cause bad things. You would stand on this and get decontaminated over time. And the nuclear reactor. Oh, it still has a fuel rod in there.
I like the gears in this.
Let it
Mhm.
let it cook. So there it is. Nuclear reactor generating power. Yeah, it's also unsafe, so I should turn that off. But and then here we take the spent fuel and put it in here to cool, though this is not correct. It had to be in a different form than just the powder to cool. So if I do this, I would build up some radiation over time. though this is 0.5 rads per second. So eventually it would be bad, but
That's a lot, actually. Keep in mind that normal safe radiation amounts are in the milli rads and the micro rads, not whole rads.
0.5.
Nate would have just been.
Here, I could get like superpowers.
Nate would have just
Yeah,
been. Oh, yeah,
come here, Kayla.
and cancer.
Come up to roof.
I'm here.
There you go. Get your superpowers. Yeah, so this was all about a sword, which I had for a little bit, but then we had Sword of the Cosmos, and it was better. Anyway, yeah, that was a nice, useful, industrial building there. So here, Erebus. So
That's the bug land.
This is the bug land. And we
Over here,
go...
next to the Twilight Forest.
And yeah, there were this whole place full of bugs. Are we back on peaceful? We must be back on peaceful.
I believe so.
Yeah, if we weren't on peaceful, there would be bugs all over trying to kill us. They'll take a minute to spawn, but
They're
come
appearing on the
over.
map now. I see red dots everywhere. They're not nearly as many as they're like in the Nether. We're
Well,
we remember the
there's
Nether.
something with the mod interactions that I don't. At the least, like the
That's
military and
yes, it is.
stuff don't spawn as much over here.
Yeah, something in the Nether made them supercharge.
Anyway,
This place is really tainted by Thaumcraft. It looks like everywhere.
place is really tainted by Thaumcraft. Which Thaumcraft we actually didn't really do much because it wasn't.
Didn't really
pressed.
need it.
Yeah, there are some zombies. You'll see, they'll just take shots, and now it doesn't matter. But at one point in time, that shot would have done like 4 hearts of damage. You don't like taking 4 hearts of damage. And you can see some of my waypoints. Let's just fly on over to that one right quick.
Oh no, he engaged high speed.
So yeah, searching for what we're about to be at was quite something.
Oh, the temple.
It took a
yeah.
long time to find, but the
And
place
keep in
we're
mind, we
about
still
to be
can't really
is,
fly yet.
Yeah, we couldn't fly at this point really. We had we had low-ish
jetpacks.
tier jetpacks, but those were finite resource. We only had 1 of them, I think, maybe 2, not 3
Yeah.
for sure. Then again, Kayla didn't do a lot of exploring. Anything where people could die, she just forced us to do that. Oh, there's, I guess, another one
Yeah.
down here somewhere.
I mean, I don't think you guys wanted me to do that because I was gonna die immediately. Like, there was no hope.
So we just flew over, I guess, another one of these temples somewhere, probably buried underground. But, so then you'll also see there are these giant, charred cobblestone. What could that be? Dragon.
Yeah, I wonder.
Dragons!
There he is. Is it
That's,
he? Might be she.
She, stage 4.
Oh, she could have a babby.
So this
And
is,
she's dead.
Yep. You hate to see it. So these rooms are great for loot. Just come
Yep.
in here, kill a dragon, get all kinds of good kush. Also, if we were ever low on gold, which happened a surprising amount, gold was oddly rare.
Yep, she did drop an egg.
You could just go in here and stack up on gold.
She dropped a green egg.
The father must have been green.
Where's my waypoint? There's my
The
waypoint.
fire type egg, so it needs to be bathed in lava.
Well, it just needs fire. Like netherrack and set it on it.
So anyway, the place that we had to go.
Oh.
Are you
Oh.
serious?
Ah!
Oh, look at the babby.
Aw.
There's a smaller one behind you, Kayla.
Tired.
And she grabbed it.
Tired of this nonsense. I'm just going. I'm taking a geodesic. There we go. So yeah, this was a temple. So we needed this for a special item. Yeah, this is just a pretty difficult place to get through.
Yep.
You
I
have,
did actually
it's a
help in this
labyrinth
area.
type
I remember
deal
going
going
to the
on.
labyrinth here.
And if you look in the map here, why is my map just off?
Because you're not on cave mode, I think. Click the cave button.
Okay. Yeah, so here you see,
Hit my dragon.
it's just this square, and
Here, put him in a mob imprisonment
we
tool.
can see this now because we explored all of it, but you start up here and it's this labyrinth maze type deal, and there would be special like guardians in the corner, in each corner, and you had to go and kill them and collect something from them and then put it on a pedestal at the very top of the temple.
Where'd he go?
He's trying to bite Nate's ankles.
No!
And then
Nate!
I don't know. I heard something biting at my ankles, and so I killed it. And then once you killed the 4 of them, you
I can
would
get another
get an icon from each, and you put it up here, which then unlocked the lower levels. You'd then go down through these lower levels, and eventually you would reach this room, where there would be a special boss that would spawn, and we had to kill that boss. And also, I think I
There's one.
might be stuck in here right now.
Does that work to tame them?
Yeah, I'm stuck in
Yeah.
here. Because the
Here.
teleporter is broken to get out, because we already killed the thing.
I can just teleport you out.
Yeah.
Think.
Yeah, so, anyway, the item we got in there was...
There it goes. It's on your shoulder now.
Antlion...
Yeah, it's hard to see through.
What was it? Antlion egg?
The Antlion Overlord, and you get some gem from it. Erebus. What is it called? It's whatever is required to make the Wand of Animation. There it is. The Soul Crystal from the Antlion Overlord.
Soul Crystal.
Yeah, it's still on your shoulders.
No, it's right here.
Well, it was on your shoulder.
Use
Now it's on your
low-tech
shoulder.
shotgun. Oh my god, it exploded.
Yeah, if you use tech guns on tech guns mobs, you get gore.
So anyway, once we had the Wand of Animation, we could do something that's a little cheaty, but this mod pack itself is cheaty.
Yep. So it's only fair to even the odds.
So I go back home, and we show you the first spawning room.
Oh dear, it's getting. I don't know how it's still on your shoulder.
So the first spawning room.
Oh dear.
Is
It's gonna start suffocating, Kayla, if you make it too much bigger.
back behind the dark magic room.
Oh,
And
dear.
yeah, we can just animate these blocks. We'd collect them in these mob imprisonment tools and then put them in the mob duplicator. Then the mob slaughter factories from the quests would kill them, and we would just get the blocks.
It's still on your
And this
shoulder.
pipes
can see
into
better
the
now.
computer. And so with this, we had, you know, infinite blocks. Of course, infinite in terms of, you know, it could produce them infinitely, but it did take time. And there was more than one occasion where we were simply sitting here waiting for blocks to spawn. One in particular, but again, that is not related to the 12 items we can still see through the walls, which we'll talk about later. So yes, tier 4, we had the majestic ingots, we had this mob spawning. Then two other big things are
Mob spawning was our trump card for this pack.
yeah
For
are
a
the
long time.
are the basic version of singularities and then space stuff. So
Indeed.
the basic version of singularities, you'll understand why I say basic soon enough, is
You need to put that thing in a horn, Kayla, because
up
it will destroy
here
anything.
from this quantum compressor. So you would just put 2,500 of, like, say, an ingot in here, and it would give you back a singularity. So, like, copper singularity. Yeah, just put in 2,500 of those, and you get a copper singularity. And these would then become all kinds of stuff. Crystal tin ingots. Okay, copper wasn't used in much. And then the ultimate singularity. The ultimate singularity is very nice. We have one on the wall here.
Yes.
This was motivation. Yeah, so singularities, those were for just the uber advanced recipes. And the other main part, which most of the top line of this quest line was devoted to, was going to space. So there
And
are
we went
plenty
to
of things. Circuit
A lot.
fabricator, electric compressor, oil refinery for getting our rocket fuel, oxygen collector and compressor. Those are outside still. I'll show you guys those. So yeah, the oxygen is right here. There's the refinery with our rocket fuel, oxygen compressor. So we have these, let's see, space. These oxygen tanks. They would be out of oxygen. You would put them in there, and this would have, you know, oxygen on the go. Which was important because in space, well, you're not in an oxygenized environment all the time. So we, yeah, would have that. Then we had space suits. Of course,
Many
space
levels of
suits
space
important for going to space. Also, the oxygen collector, just, you know, grabbing oxygen from outside. And this emerald tank currently has, let's see, 65.5 million, so like 65,536 buckets worth of oxygen. That's
Yes.
some oxygen. The spacesuits, I, you know, put those in a chest. I believe that would be for this chest. So yeah, these, once I got done with them, I put them in here. Tier 1 space boots, and then you also had to have thermal padding. So thermal padding, and then Tier 2. So Tier 1, I think, just let you go to the moon, more or less.
Yeah.
Then Tier 2 was like, you know, Mars, at least.
Space station.
Maybe Venus, space station. Tier 3, we got more planets. Tier 4, you got more planets, so on and so forth. And we had to build things, the Call of Duty plates. For a long time, heavy duty plates were the bane of our existence. In fact, to this day, they still somewhat are, because you can't
It
spawn
doesn't
them.
stop there. That's just tier 1.
Yeah, that's tier 1 heavy duty plates. But compressed steel, aluminum, bronze. There's a lot of our time was spent sitting here waiting for steel, aluminum, and bronze to compress, and then the heavy duty plates to compress. Because heavy duty plates are needed to make the components for the rockets. So these all here are more or less just all rocket components. And at the end of Tier 4, we made the Tier 1 rocket. The Tier 1 rocket allowed us to go to the moon. So we'll quickly go up and look at our launch pad.
You can just carry a rocket, it's no biggie.
Yeah, you can just carry a rocket. It's no big deal. So here we have this elevator. We'd take the elevator, ride the elevator all the way up to the platform up here. Then we would do a little
Space elevator is pretty
hippity
cool.
hop on that. It would jump us up here. And then this is where we had our landing platforms with our rockets. Here's Tier 1 rocket. There's the Tier 3 rocket. It's a little bit more phallic. But
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
as Mark said, we can just...
Are you trying to go
got
into the rocket?
confused. No. We can just
Yeah, you just carry it.
carry him around. No. Yeah, I lift, bro. I'm hench.
A rocket.
What you talking about?
Even
This
a
is-
small rocket like this side would be still pretty heavy.
You know, doing some squats. Anyway.
Why is your space stuff like it's blue on my screen, but it's red on yours? I don't get it. Your Cosmo armor and such.
It's-
You look
I don't
evil.
know.
Yeah, you're all red
look evil.
instead of blue. Why?
So yeah, we went to the moon, and you know what? For old time's sake, does this have fuel in it? Let's say it has fuel in it.
I think it probably does.
I'll need to load in some rocket fuel first. No, it
Oh,
does not
here.
have fuel.
Let me get you
It's
some fuel.
the other one, I believe. The one on the other side.
Oh dear. Oh no, I didn't break it.
Mark?
Yeah. 1 second. Fuel. Okay, quicker. Galacticraft fuel.
Do. Yes, because Indiana Jones went to space. I don't know why that started coming into
Han
my head.
did.
Han did. Yep, that is accurate. And then we see
There you
a solar panel over there on the side. That was a standard fare, you know, just kind of need power somewhere not connected to the main power grid. Slap a solar panel on it.
Did that put it in?
And it should be loading over time. And yeah, then we get this countdown.
And it forces everyone to wave.
Yep. Well, Mark's waving. Kayla's not waving. Kayla, look at the rocket. Wave. Wave, damn it.
I don't remember how to wave.
Oh, just look.
It,
There you
it does it automatically. If you look at the rocket, you're
And we
forced to
have
wave on it.
blast off. You
Goodbye.
can
Takes a long
see my
time.
arm sometimes being outside of the rocket. No, that's not until the higher tier rockets, which is a hilarious statement. So yeah, so
It's like I'm
this...
just trying to Patriot missile battery him out of the sky. It doesn't seem to work.
So rude. So this would take us to, I believe, the space station above Earth or the moon. And you'll see in a moment, once we break out of the atmosphere, a menu will pop up. You can see our progress on the left-hand side. This is a cool little
Better
thing.
rockets get you to go faster.
Better
Much,
rockets do get you
much
to go faster. This is a tier 1 rocket. Well, as you would expect, it's the bottom. It takes us a minute or two, one could say. And yeah, then we get this nice fancy outline of the solar system. So Mercury required tier 3. I'll just highlight where we've been. We won't go to every single planet. Venus, we've been to. The overworld, of course, we've been to. The moon, we've been to. Then Mars, we've been to. A lot of the moons we skipped. So
Yeah,
I
we
don't
didn't go
think
to
we
the
went to the
planets.
moons. We went to the asteroid
They're
belt.
tiny. There would not be much to
Yeah.
walk on.
We went to the asteroid belt. We will be going to the asteroid belt later, because there's something important there. I don't think we went to Ceres. We went to
Nah,
Jupiter.
Just
We went to
another asteroid.
Saturn. We went to Uranus. And we went to Neptune. And I don't believe we have a tier 8. Tier 8.
Wasn't
we
a
never
quest.
made a tier 8. It wasn't a quest. If Mark is able to give me the world file, I will definitely
I
go
will.
there on my own. And then there's some others. Tier question mark. Who knows what that can mean? There are things, and there's also other galaxies. We can go to
Yep.
Proxima Centauri, where
Which
Tatooine and
apparently is
Hoth
Star
and
Wars.
Crate are. Yep. And then there's Whirlpool, which I don't know. You know,
Maybe
if,
it's from Stargate or something. I don't know.
if you know where these worlds are from, leave a comment. And then Black Eye, similarly, I don't
Firefly,
know.
maybe? I have no idea. It's something.
So, you know, if you know, leave a comment. Much appreciated. Anyway,
If you
yeah.
know, you.
So right now we are in our rocket, so let's just go to the moon. Launch, and we will land. And I will hopefully cause us to not explode when we land. That's always desirable.
Mm-hmm. Not that the explosion would do anything to you.
Hold space to slow down.
You don't have to do it immediately. You can see when you have to do it.
So we get some info here on our velocity, entry velocity. I want to keep it at a reasonable level. And we landed. That was a pretty successful landing. And then here
Indeed.
we have a teleporter. So eventually, instead of having to use a rocket every single time, we would just take this teleporter back and forth. And I'll even just show you right now. This takes us to this downstairs room in our own base. This is the Britannia where we were earlier. So highly, highly convenient. Shouldn't have gone that. That was the wrong teleporter.
I wonder if the Stargates kill you still. You specifically.
That's an interesting question. So before we add the teleporter, we spent a great deal of time and effort making these Stargate rings here. And you would activate them on. You had to put in a sequence. And, oh, that inadvertently was a bad word.
Yes!
And you would hit enter, and it would link to the Stargate ring with the same sequence. So here it says
QACR 9RP 6X enter.
And yeah, it spools up, and it takes a moment to spool up. I accidentally stepped through the teleporter walking backwards.
But the animation is really cool. It looks
The animation
straight
is
out
really
of
cool, and
Stargate.
I'm not there. Because I have auto stepping on with the infinity boots. So yeah, it's still spooling up.
You have to wait for all the things to link in. Much like educators trying to find people, they must be linked in.
And see the chevrons outside lighting up.
And they warn you when you turn on these things to not be in front of it when it turns on.
Yep. Hey Kayla, come over here right quick.
She's AFK.
Aw.
You'll have to do it. You're the
Well,
one
I'm
who's...
here, but I was waiting for a teleport.
Oh. She's in
left?
creative mode, though.
Oh. See, I just... One left. And now that appears, and if you're standing anywhere near where Kayla is, you would get freaking annihilated.
Yep.
And then that portal would also take us back to the moon. So that was our more primitive way of getting here, but as you saw, it took a while to spool up, and also was pretty hazardous. So
It also turns off because it's on a different dimension, so you have to do it all over again.
So here, these communication dish, that's just aesthetic. But this really is the only place in space where we had a true base. But it's pretty
built
cool
this
base.
as well.
So there's this
Yeah,
airlock seal, this
It's a
oxygen
really cool
compressor,
interface.
and yeah, this is airtight in here. So you could take off all your stuff. This place, you could decontaminate yourself. You see on the right that I have very high radiation consumed right now. So I might take a quick bath once it recharges. And you can just see like the red bar on the right hand side indicates my radiation. I step in here and it goes down considerably. And there are different rooms. we go through this hallway, this is like a fun little kitchen diner type area.
Mhm.
Oh, of course, nice views. Nice views.
We
Just
even had
more
TV.
storage
We
stuff.
did.
A shower with a little bath for some relaxing. Some shelves, foodstuffs, a fridge.
Like you can take a shower.
Nope.
Huh.
Of course, we shower fully clothed and fully armored. This
And
pack
then
doesn't fuck
through
around.
this way.
Wait, Nate,
Oh,
you,
that's
you
the front
gotta. I
door.
forgot about this thing. Come here.
There's a toilet.
Yeah, it makes noise.
You can fart while on the toilet.
Okay.
Wait, what's the nun?
It's you haven't programmed it.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, you can like make noises on the toilet. It's kind of funny.
And I crashed when I attempted to touch it.
I
Aw.
see. Anyway, through here is a nice little automated farm.
It's
We've
for
got
making
a variety
oxygen.
of things. There's carrots, potatoes, wheat, and then lots and lots of leaves. Lots
apple.
and lots and lots and lots of leaves. The leaves, of course, as Mark said, are for creating oxygen. And apples. Yes, and the apples get sent back home to the computer so that, we have much long ago we had, just the blueberries for fruit. Now we have nigh unlimited apples. And then in there's another tree farm just for oxygen. So this was a nice little moon base. And I'll leave the moon base and I will show you.
Kayla really captured the aesthetic of what a moon base would actually look like. Like that is what NASA's plans kind of look like.
What a
It had
large part of going through space is about. So, at each different major entity in space, the moon and then the planets, there were special dungeons, and we had to reach the dungeons and clear the dungeons to get nice little moon village there, to get a special item that was in the dungeons. In order to build the higher tier rocket to go to the new planets. So some of these were very difficult to find.
Yep.
The moon at first felt like it was bad, but compared to some of the others, it wasn't that bad. So yeah, they would just be in these large underground holes. You jump down, this one we cleared, you'd have to fight through here. And then, at the end, there would be a boss room. You'd kill the boss. Killing the boss would give you a key as a reward, which would allow you to open up this chest. And this chest would have a NASA
Blueprint.
workbench schematic. And then NASA
And hopefully the one you
workbench.
wanted.
Hopefully the one you wanted to get
And
the
always.
higher tier rocket, indeed.
And you do this on
Yeah.
every single celestial body you go
What
to.
was the most difficult one to find? Was it Jupiter
Saturn?
or Saturn? I wanna say?
Jupiter Saturn was one of them where it's an orange and yellowish place, and your blocks are orange and yellowish, and there is just
Yeah, so this is where we could go with this rocket, but I'm going to I'm just going to teleport to Saturn right quick. Okay. Yeah. So this is Saturn. And the dungeons here were a gosh darn nightmare. This dungeon that I found was under this, liquid. This dubious liquid. And again, there are spawners. We had to fight through here, kill the boss. But yeah, just in general, things were
I don't think I
very
actually
hard
ever
to
came
find.
here.
you would not want
I
to
don't
be here. It
think.
sucks.
Yeah, some of these later
I think
planets.
this was when I was super busy with like blood magic stuff.
Nate, Nate and I literally spent hours scouring, like just going crisscross across the planet.
Okay, no, Jupiter was the evil one. Yeah, come to me right now, Mark.
I'm trying. There's a little bit of lag.
So yeah, Jupiter was the truly evil one because look, like blocks, everything normal. You know, little tiny hole, probably wouldn't even show up on your minimap. Oh wait, little tiny hole, actually the dungeon, made out of the exact same material, everything. No real distinguishing feature. If you looked on it on the minimap, you would just see this, you know, teeny tiny plus sign, which could mean anything. Yeah, this one took a long time to find, especially because the gravity didn't allow you to jump.
Yep.
Why is it so lightning?
Because this is Jupiter.
This is Jupiter. Yeah, some of these later planets were a hellhole. Also, there's a, you know, joking comment made by Kayla earlier about crash landing. So, you see these tier 1 rockets, Galacticraft core. And then we had like tier 3 rocket Galacticraft planet, tier 2 rocket Galacticraft planet, tier 4 rocket extra planet, tier 5 rocket extra planet. So as I made that impeccable landing earlier on the moon, you saw that I held space to slow down. And when I did that, it worked, and I landed safely and soundly, and all was well with the world. The tier 4 and higher with extra planets are broken. What's that mean? They can fly just fine, but they can't land. So, tier 4 rockets and higher, every single landing was a crash landing, which destroys the rocket in its entirety, so we had to now just get the rocket again if we wanted to go back to the planets again. Anyway, yeah, this is not a nice place to be. So that was a summary of our you know, outer space adventures. We will be going to a couple more places in outer space as we discuss some specific things in tier 5, the final tier, which we now go to. So tier 5 started down here. With some quests on the moon. For instance, on the moon we found, of course, cheese. We found Naquata
made of cheese, obviously.
and raw meteoric iron. There's some things, you know, finally to the moon. We got radiation, cleansing information, got moon turf. So what was moon turf used for? Well, this assembler over here required syngas.
Yes.
And syngas can be made in multiple ways, but the main one is through moon turf. And boy, is the conversion there horrendous.
Yes.
I think it's like one moon turf is either 20 or 40 syngas, and a lot of things would require like 200 or 400 syngas to make one of the item. And yeah, so that's, for instance, the heavy-duty plates that we were complaining about earlier. One heavy-duty plate in the master assembler. Okay, so 2 would require 200 syngas. Anyway, we got through the moon. We fought, moon dungeons, evolved skeleton. And then the schematics I said that we got from the dungeon boss. Some other singularities, some more moon stuff. Moon
Naquata
buggy.
is what we use to make the stargates and teleporters.
Alright, the data orb, one step below the energy orb, I thought. No?
It's part of the
Yes, energy flow circuit.
Yeah, energy flow circuit.
So those are tough.
And those required memory, which required computer chips, and computer chips required microchips and circuit boards, and that's why Nate and I, like we said, have built possibly tens of thousands, no exaggeration, of those items.
So say if you just check it out, some of the others were a little cleaner, like the tier 4 quest line is simple enough. You give me a pencil and paper and I can work through this, but The tier 5 quest line, computing the fundamental group of this graph would be a goddamn menace. Anyway, just, have to throw in some higher math there at some point.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so there were many, many different directions to go, all kinds of stuff. So we'll go to the right for a bit up front, after the moon. Now we got the mechanical assembler, decontamination unit, where I lowered my radiation earlier, you saw. Better spacesuit padding. Tier 2 rocket, yeah, took us to Mars, where we got vibranium, which was a big deal. We killed a creeper boss. We got Desh, another high tier ore.
You need it in the next levels of the heavy duty plates.
Yep. Killing tier 3, the creeper boss. Gave us tier 3 access cards. Then there was energy flow circuit. So let's just take, these energy flow circuits. We probably natty made 100 or plus of these.
Yeah, probably about a couple stacks.
And it would take, 2 data orbs. And data orbs required memory tier 3.5, which required 2 memory tier 3, which required 2 memory 2.5, which required 2 memory tier 2, which required 2 memory tier 1.5, which required 2 memory tier 1. So, as you can see, that's this exponential process in terms of the amount of memory you need. And yeah, that was a lot of time spent just making memory.
Every time a recipe said that, Nate would be like, Mark, you need to make another one. And I'd be like, no.
Energy flow circuits.
Please.
Yeah.
Say it ain't so.
The resonant jetpack, which is quite good. The railgun, which we have right here. So you see if I hold shift and scroll up and down, it's the power usage set to. I believe, I want to say 10 million does
100.
10 million does 1 damage?
I don't know.
Let's just look that up right quick. Railgun
I always have it on max.
Overloaded.
I have at 2 billion, which I think is 2,000 damage. No, it's 20,000 damage. Oh.
Someone is hitting me.
I'm shooting you with the railgun. Oh, I think you're red because of night vision.
Oh.
You sure as hell are blue on my screen.
I don't remember. I want to say, because the lowest you can go is 10 million. I think
And the max is 2 billion.
10 million is 1 heart worth of damage. So that means 100 million is 10 hearts worth of damage. 500 mil, so 1 billion would be 100. No, that can't be right then.
No, I thought it's...
so that means 1 million is one damage. And if 1 million is 1 damage, that means 1 billion is 1,000 damage.
Correct.
So it could deal up to like 2,000
damage.
Something damage per shot. Which is a lot of damage per shot. You can one-shot the overwhelming majority of things with that type of power. Yeah, so that was nice, but it took us a while actually to build that. We didn't build that at this stage, not until later. Got the tier 3 rockets.
Because we needed the draconic energy core.
Yeah, the tier 3 rockets took us to both Venus and Mercury. Got all kinds of stuff. On Venus, we fought the Spider Queen, and we got Draconium. On Mercury, we fought the Evolved Magma Cube. We got
Mercury.
And also a better...
Carbon.
Tier 4 was the final one, which we got the Tier 4 rocket. That was the final quest, because it's the final of, again, the Galacticraft rockets. After that, it's only extraplanet rockets. Then we started seeing, we start seeing these big things with creative out front. Put a pin in that. So earlier we branched off towards the, space direction, but if we go up at this junction, the beginning of something big, we see the neutron collector, which then got us tiny piles of neutrons. Tiny piles of neutrons became neutronium nuggets, which then became neutronium ingots. We use neutronium to build some things. First up, Mark, you want to talk about the fun drill you made? And maybe show that off if you know where it is?
Do I still have it? Yeah, I still have it in my inventory. I'm not going to use it in this building. The
No,
infinity drill is insane. It is just a very, very, very powerful drill. It doesn't mine one block very quickly. No. It mines either 121 or 169 blocks. It's either 11 by 11 or 13 by 13. Maybe it's 9 by 9. But it mines all of those at once. And I do mean at once. So if I just stand here and
go
dig.
Down a bit.
Oh, how do I change the mode? That is 13 by 13. Oh, it's because I'm in creative mode. It doesn't understand it.
You might have to go to survival.
There it goes. Oh god.
Oh,
So,
the world is still loading for me. There we
it
go.
goes.
Yeah. So that can carve through right quick.
Yeah, it carves out a
So yeah, that's he's holding
13
the infinity
cuboid around you,
drill. Yep.
which is that's pretty good.
That's a lot.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. So other things that we did with it, we made the extreme crafting table, which let us make a really pearly ender pearl, or excuse me, a really endy ender pearl.
One might even say the endest of pearls.
A stew. Now I
ultimate
want to talk
stew.
about this stew for a minute because goddamn.
Kayla made that.
As
As
you
well
saw,
as the meatballs.
yeah. So this entire orchard, all of these plants over here, these hopping bonsai pots. You see, this is the extreme crafting table. All that stuff, purely to make this stew.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's quite a stew. If you
It's
were
the
to
ultimate
actually
stew.
consume it, you would get, as you see there, 10 of both types. Also, there were ultimate meatballs, quite good. And
So if you're
then,
vegan, haha, sucks for you.
once you're through those things, you'd get a neutronium compressor. So what's that doing? What's a neutronium compressor? What's going on there?
That's how you get the new singularities. Because if you didn't think singularities were already difficult enough with 2,500 of a certain block being required, nah, you haven't seen extreme singularities.
Yeah, so we made some of those. And if you look, extreme singularities, so say extreme diamond singularity. So what goes into this? 18,300 diamond blocks.
Mm.
And we, all in all, needed, let's see, probably around 100 of these things.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So 100 times 18,300 would be 1.8 million diamond blocks. And we didn't just need diamond. No. We needed all 12 of the things that you see here that we've been seeing through the walls this entire time. There's 12 items. We needed that many of each of them. So that was quite something. So there were many things, we realized that this are the combined use of our mining ability and what is present in terms of the rate of production in this room. It would take us literally years.
And all of Kayla's mystical agriculture stuff as well.
And all of
That was
Kayla's
our
mystical
first,
agriculture.
attempt
Even
to
with
boost
that, it would take over a year.
Yep.
To get what we needed. So instead, we tried a couple other things.
To be
some which I don't think
enterprising
we've done before.
capitalists.
So you see, we have this moon teleporter, but we also see two others, to space station and asteroid mining. Now, the
Asteroid
first
mining
was
first.
asteroid mining. So, what's this? This takes us to the asteroids, as you
Because I
saw,
thought it
one
was
of
a
the
cool
places.
place to mine.
And, we have this. Let's go, follow these things here. These are just fun to ride around in for a bit of time.
Yeah, let's jump in a viaduct.
I'm still on a dirt screen.
Oh, I see.
I have to send
There we
that
go.
text right quick.
Oh god, I looked into the...
Where'd you go?
Just right-click on the viaduct and go to one of the tiers. I don't know which one he's at.
Oh,
I don't know which one he's at.
No, I went
Assume
to
the
number
first
1.
one.
Yep. So that was, so we made these things, which now, as you note, is not actually a void ore miner. It is currently serving as a void resource miner. So these, as the name suggests, as long as they're receiving power, they just, suck things into existence from the void. And
Pretty
it
useful.
fills this chest. Yeah, quite useful.
Not cheap to make.
Not cheap to make. And we had to make every single tier, because every single tier created, some item which only it could create, which was needed for the next tier. So there's tier 1, you see it's this little smaller thing. It goes all the way up through tier 6, which was what you saw on the main platform that we will return to right now. Yeah, so we made a tier 2 void ore miner, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6. Tier 6 is big.
It's
right
needed.
here.
It's gotta be big.
And you see, yeah, it is all this. Each of these
I'm just
blocks,
stoked for,
it might look like a simple block, but structure frame tier 6, that is expensive. All of them are structure frames. And
Got a bunch
yeah,
of
so
ores
in the
going.
middle of there is the actual producer. And I think it burns something like, 35,370 FE per tick, because there are amplifiers, so speed. It is going
This looks like
faster.
bug blocks.
And yeah, we see it outputs items into these
They do.
chests, and then the chests output items into all of these quantum entangleporters, which
Which
send
again look
them-
like simple blocks, but they're not.
But they're not. They're quite expensive as well. And it makes sense that they're expensive because they literally teleport items like across dimensions.
Yep.
So that's
For free.
That is quite high tech. Yeah.
And we were using this at first, and we were like, okay, this has to be enough material spawned in. But there's a problem. This doesn't mine blocks. No. This mines ore.
Yeah, because this as you see the FE per tick in the duration is in ticks. So that means this is generating 1 ore per tick, or in ideal circumstances 20 ore per second, which that's pretty
lot.
fast.
It's pretty fast.
So what do we do with it? I mean, we had, as you saw a while ago, those 4 machines, the purifier, crusher, the enricher and smelter. For a brief bit, we tried to just, use those, and that got absolutely overrun very quickly. So we decided, one thing that I didn't really focus on, but was on the side earlier, is any planet that you've been to, you can create a space station. And so Mark had the idea. He was like, you know what, let's just create a big, nice space station and do all our processing there. So we'll go through this teleporter, which will take us to the space station. Now I'm going to look at the ground, look at the ground, and okay, so where we went initially, I fell. Why the hell did I fall out of the dimension? That's not supposed to happen. I have flight. Space station.
It's because flight is weird in space. It really
down, look
messes
down.
up.
Oh, my infinity gear just can't fly in the space station. That's very odd.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
One last time. I'll just look at it. Okay, so when we initially came to the space station area, we started on that that platform over there. Wait, Mark, are you on that platform?
No, I'm in the actual big
Okay.
platform. I can go there if you want.
Sure.
I don't know how to get to the space station.
There's a
I'm
tablet.
following again.
Oh,
Why did I go at that angle? That was odd. Yeah,
because
anyway, just get up there and then bring us.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll do that too. I fell.
So this is just a nice little floating. I think there was a time at which we thought we might move up here, like actually have our base on these floaty things, but it never really panned out.
Nah. Oh,
We
right.
just-
It's above the original space
We
station.
reached a point where we had too much, we would have had to move. Yeah, so this was the original space station.
You can even see the rocket that brought us here.
You can see the rocket that brought us here.
You can also see that if you're in survival mode and you try and jump, good fucking luck.
Yep, I'm pressing space right now. Jump. What's that? Now, my infinity boots do have auto step on, but
Yes, that's
initially to get up this little thing here, what you had to do was hold space, which would shrink you down like this. And you'll see it's like I'm crouching, like I'm about to do a high jump or something.
And then you
jump
bounce up just enough to get there.
Yeah. But then Mark brought in that thing. So that's our true space station. And we have this little, duct thing which will take us over. Those are always fun. Just zip zooming around in. And yeah, so here there are a few things to show you. We'll ignore that room for the moment. The first thing is the wall. So this was a labor of love right here, and it experienced many iterations.
It also has a habit of crashing the server.
It also
at the
has a habit
beginning.
of crashing the server. So now the quantum entangleporters teleport the ores over here. Then the ores go up to these purifying factories, which purify them to the crushing factories, to the enriching factories, to the smelting factories, which then output and send them to these quantum entangleporters, which send them over here to the computer. If you look in the computer, you see we have a lot of stuff from this void ore miner. And by a lot, I really mean a lot. We have almost 8 million aluminum ingots, 6 million osram. So remember that osram, that ore that was in the middle of these lava lakes in the nether that was darn near impossible to get? Well, now, void ore miners, we just have 6 million of it. Palladium, another top tier ore. Plenty of ores, plenty of good kush. 14 million redstone, not gonna run out of that anytime soon. Yeah, so that was nice. You can see, let's just look, what is this processing right now? So that one's working on some copper, one's working on some tin. This one is working through tin and aluminum. And that one's working through thorium and silver. So all kinds of stuff. You see down here we have ardite going on, we have ezo. I mean, this is amazing. And one thing that you'll note is these require oxygen, and over here is just a oxygen generating setup. Initially it was just the first layer, and then we realized that the wall was stalling out because it didn't have enough oxygen. So we just had Mark had to add more layers, and now oxygen is produced in abundance.
Yep.
But this is specifically, you know, for things which come in as ores and become ingots. Not everything the Void Ore Miner gets becomes ingots. For instance, redstone, that's not an ingot. Coal, that's not an ingot. Nether quartz, that's not an ingot. Diamond's
Lapis,
not an
that's
ingot.
not an ingot.
So we add another wall, which would process those types of things, which is just this wall over here. See here, there's lapis becoming lapis, and we're all Gucci. Oh, we're not all Gucci. We're not all Gucci at all. All of these need to become SO2. So what's going on there? SRO2 set. SRO2 set. So yeah, these quantum entangleporters have frequencies. And sometimes something happens with the server, like you're seeing right now, which for some reason causes these frequencies to just quit. And so earlier, we tried to start this video, but the server crashed. And why, Mark? Could you explain why the server crashed?
So I went into the console after the server crashed because it said something about a tick taking too long. And a tick taking too long means that something's lagging. And a common cause of lag is entity sprawl, too many entities. And I knew that our space station is ground zero for too many entities. So I brought Nate in here. He quickly found the problem. It was this. It was this wall. This wall was containing entities on the order of magnitude of millions, constantly moving around between each other and getting locked in an infinite cycle of lag. Leaving it on for 5 minutes killed the server. This happened 3 times before we managed to break everything. But yeah, this thing is dangerous. But it's also this is required to be able to finish the quests at the end of the pack in any sort of reasonable time scale.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take this sort of extreme measure. It just doesn't work otherwise.
Because
like Nate said, months of work if you didn't do stuff like this.
Yeah,
still took weeks.
It still took weeks. We look at the neutronium compressor, and what to the left of it is an aptly titled quest, The Grind is Real. So what does this do? 7 Infinity Catalyst. Oh, sure. Infinity Catalyst, that sounds pretty intense. 1 Infinity Catalyst requires one of each of the 12 extreme singularity, as I said earlier. So one of these, you know, like 18,000 diamond blocks, you know, 1 Infinity Catalyst. So you need 7 of those. Not bad, right? Okay. What do you do with Infinity Catalyst? Infinity ingots. And what does 1 Infinity ingot take? 8 Infinity Catalyst. And for the quest we need 10, which means we need 80 Infinity Catalysts. And there are also some other things in here which were before Infinity ingots that required Infinity Catalysts. So yeah, around about 100 of these Infinity Catalysts were needed. Abjectly insane. Even with this entire wall setup, which is completely automated when it's not killing the server, because something breaks, we realized it is going to take too long. In fact, if all we used was the wall and the spawning that we had in the basement of our bunker, we honestly might do some. We honestly probably
be done right now.
We probably wouldn't still be done. So what did we do? We added a little something extra.
We exploited Erebus to the extreme.
And set up this little room here, which is
This is the death room.
is the death room. We have so many goddamn spawners in here, and mob slaughter factories, and we just spawn blocks, kill stuff, spawn blocks, kill stuff, spawn
And this
blocks,
still ran
kill stuff.
for
And this
days.
was running 24/7. Yeah, this was running 24/7 for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
And that's what it took to get us enough for all the extreme singularities we needed to finally make infinity ingots. So yeah, so the blocks would be spawned there. And then they would go to this computer. And this computer would then output
Notice there's not a lot of blocks in here
Yeah.
because this works fine.
Yeah, through the quantum entangloporters to these factorizers. Ah, no, it would not. It would. Where did these go?
No, this there.
Oh yeah, it went right here. Not to the factorizers, but to the neutronium compressors. These factorizers were from the computer back in here that would have the ingots, and then the ingots would go in here and be factorized into blocks and then go into there. So yeah, this room, I spent a sad amount of time just like AFK in this room doing math and every now and then checking in to see what progress was like.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
Every once in a while, I'd message Nate on Discord, like, you know, every couple of days or something. I'd be like, hey, he's like, yeah, we got like another one.
This is
Two.
like the peak of high-tech, extremely high-tech automation in Minecraft. 'Cause getting infinity ingots is like that's it. So yeah,
Everything
once
creative requires infinity ingots.
the godsend of infinity ingots is that once we had enough, we could turn them into a block and animate and spawn it ad infinitum blocks of infinity.
Infinity blocks
Hallelujah.
ad infinitum. It's fitting.
Yeah. So with that, we made these infinity gear, which you see here, which is why I simply don't take damage, and when I'm not in certain space regions can fly freely, and why I'm really fast, as you see, plus Sanic %, and also the night vision. Sword of the Cosmos doesn't work as it should, plus infinity attack damage is a lie. World Breaker, mining speed 9,999, seems reasonable. Also Fortune 10, quite nice. Durability, it says it has durability, it doesn't have durability. Nature's Ruin, similarly for chopping trees, and Planet Eater is the shovel equivalent. So yeah, this space station is, in terms of like a location of production and processing, this space station is probably like the highest achievement that we have, gotten throughout all of Minecraft on all mod packs.
And it's even better that it works.
Yeah,
like it actually, it did its job.
It is truly something. No, I mean,
out of all the mod packs, this is the first one that we were actually able to fully complete before it crashed.
The combination of the void ore miners and this station probably outputs a higher GDP than the United States. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, because there's absolutely no upper bound. It will just go infinitely. Like, it's ridiculous. We make so many. Keep in mind that every block in Minecraft is a cubic meter of that material. A cubic meter of like the greatest diamond is insanely expensive. A cubic meter of gold, that's quite a lot of money. A cubic meter of platinum, even more money. But if you want to get something that's expensive, a cubic meter of something like neutronium, I don't even know how to put a dollar amount on that because it's not within our ability to make yet. We only know it exists in like one place in the universe, and that's in neutron stars, we think. Possibly. We're not quite sure. We haven't been inside a neutron star. But we're pretty sure that's what it's built in.
So this is just all lapis right now.
Yeah.
That'll be going for a while. But the channels are fixed, so it won't be as backed up. Anyway, yes, that is our space station.
It's beautiful. It took a lot of time, but the effort was well worth it. And then, after we did all that with the Infinity stuff, it unlocked another high-end mod, made even more high-end because of this mod pack, Draconic Evolution.
So, do you want to, if we just scan over, you see some things, some of these things, so I think that started at draconium ingots, and then wrapped up and around for some odd reason. Yeah.
Like you said, there's this quest line was a mess.
First thing was the draconic core, which I think we saw briefly earlier when I said ignore that for now.
It's over here in one of these tables.
Yeah, so here, draconic core. Look at all this. Empowered diamantine, draconium, pulsating dust, gold, mana diamond, and heavy-duty plates for one. For one. And
You need
that's the
more than
lowest
one.
tier.
Yeah.
You need many hundreds. We might have made over 1,000 of those. I don't know. Maybe.
Because it's also a exponential function, but instead of a 2 exponential function, it's 4 exponential function.
Yep.
So you need 4 to make the next, and 4 to make the
Yep,
next.
because we need four draconium to make a wyvern, or 4 draconic to make a wyvern, and then you need where's higher than what than
Draconic core should be somewhere.
draconic core.
That's
should be
beyond
somewhere.
or awakened core should be somewhere. That's beyond wyvern. And maybe it wasn't a quest, but you needed it in other things.
Yeah. So we needed these, the awakened core. Ah, it was in fusion crafting.
Yeah.
It required 4 wyvern cores. So that's another thing in here. You see particle generator, energy core stabilizer, fusion crafting core. So what's going on with that? You know, let's see.
Taking from one of the greatest mods of all time, Thaumcraft, no mod is complete without some sort of fusion capability creation method. And Draconic Evolution, not wanting to be outdone, has the fusion crafting system, which requires a god-awful amount of energy to work.
Yeah,
It looks cool when it runs.
yeah, you want to just like churn it up,
Yeah.
make something basic, show the crowd.
Let's make
Yeah,
a
so what you
let's make
do
a
is
core.
you put items like you just saw in there,
Or
and then
weapon
once the
cores.
items are in there, and you have a special item in there, it will craft a recipe for advanced draconic stuff.
You have to split these up because the way it works, it's put in one individually. One. There we go. And then Awakened Draconium block, Nether Star Ancient block.
I'm just giving you some hype music.
Ancient. Let's see. Nether Star. And
This is from the questing ram, which is another fun thing in the Twilight Forest. And yes, it
Yes.
lets you make sheep noises.
indeed.
And it also
And what else?
consumes grass around you.
Vibranium, adamant, and diamond. Diamond. Vibranium. And adamantium. And the thing in the core requires an ancient draconium block. There we go.
So you get to see this. It's pretty
It's a
awesome.
pretty cool animation, honestly. Starts zapping, generates taking a lot of power in. Making one of these cores costs 10 million energy.
It's a bit of energy. It does a little
And it's-
spinny. Gets
And
going.
as they spin faster and faster, they get hotter because they're being crushed together under their own power. Gravity wins.
And
boom.
kerpow.
You get a single awakened core. And you needed tons of these.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Upgrades, you had fancy armor.
I'm currently wearing it.
He's wearing it. He has a big ol' shield with it. You can't see the shield. He can.
Yep. I can
It's
withstand...
like there, I just did some damage to his
Here.
shield, but I don't know how much.
Oh, here, hit me again. Did about 400 damage to my shield.
See, you can see the shield that just... It's strong.
Yep.
It's sort of infinity. It's supposed to just one-shot everything, but
but Draconic Shield seemed to be weird with it.
Yeah. So yeah, once we had all this draconic stuff and all the and we had infinity ingots, the last things to do were these creative stuff. So, for instance, creative dragon meal. That actually didn't require any infinity stuff, but it allows you to tame dragons. So Kayla likes that. Creative mill gives you infinite grid power, which was for extra utilities. So you see here, it required 6 of those energy flow circuits we talked about earlier.
Those were at a premium. There's no way to spawn those in.
And higher tier heavy duty plates. Recall we had higher heavy duty plate tier 1, but they go all the way up to tier 10.
Yeah.
Then down here, we had the everlasting guilty pool. We talked about mana being a problem. Well, now mana is not a problem because infinite mana.
Infinite mana.
If you understand the reference, then kudos to you. Unfortunately, mediocre show compared to how good the music was.
Wait, do you know what reference is?
The everlasting guilty pool? Yeah, that's a reference to the everlasting guilty crown, which is in the OST for the show Guilty Crown, which was more or less a cheap Code Geass attempted knockoff.
I see.
But its OST was amazing, so it gets credit for that. Ultimate Flux Capacitor, which gives you effectively unlimited energy. And Creative Energy Cube, which does truly give us infinite energy, which is really quite a shame because, I mean, we made that right after making the solar panel of infinity. So I'll fly up and show that to you guys right now. So no, we made like solar panel of infinity, which is located right here, which generates 16.777 million FE per tick. So that's like 330 something million FE per second. So that's in a sense truly infinite energy, but then like the next week we had very literally infinite energy.
Infinite energy.
And the very last quest we completed was killing a Chaos Guardian. So that we had to find in the end. And honestly, by this point, killing it was no big deal because all of us are beyond overpowered.
We had sort of the Cosmos. And
we had sort of the Cosmos. We have railguns that do 2k energy per shot. Or 2k damage per shot. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Nothing stands before us. So yes, that is the entire quest line. That was our pack.
We actually finished
recapping to get, the contrast.
Yeah.
We started in this little dirt hole. Then, we had this nice little small wood house with a roof that got destroyed multiple times. And we ended, by channeling draconic energies and making, literal infinite energy and indestructible weapons and armor and, creating singularities left and right.
Yep.
And
breaking dimensional boundaries,
teleportation.
Dominating the solar system almost in its entirety.
Yep. Started from nothing, ended with everything.
So we'll just scan through all the quest lines real quick.
Started from the hovel, now we here.
Posterity. Now, Wild Hunt. Killed all these things a number of times.
It looks like they haven't been completed, but that's just because they refresh.
Yeah. Black Magic, Tier 1. Tier 2 is, of course, the massive altar that we saw. Then White Magic, Tier 2. Tier 1. And Mystical Agriculture, Kayla and all of her plants.
Oh right, I shoot fireballs.
So many plants. So many plants.
Because I'm Fuha.
Ores, alloys, and smeltery.
Uh-oh.
We had, of course, Tinkers, but then Tinkers add-on. which meant so many different types of ores and alloys. Protectors of the Earth, we got, you know, some pretty cool turrets. There's a laser turret set up outside. So if there was, you know, one suggestion I would make just about the quest progression in general, it's that there are all these side quest lines, but some of them are not very explicitly tied into the main quest line, and so sometimes you kind of need to do something in a side quest line, but it doesn't tell you that. Maybe just improve the
sometimes,
cohesion.
Like, the quest was like, oh
but
yeah, you
so
need all
this-
these things. It's like, okay, I can't make those things, and you had to go find which quest it was that would
Yep.
allow you to make those things.
so
Like there was a lot
this-
of stuff gated behind, like for instance, the blood magic from dark magic. That would
This
that
is,
wasn't
this is a
really
laser
didn't tell you.
turret, so Kayla, get over here.
is in creative mode. I don't
figure-
think it will shoot her.
Oh. Put her
I'm in
out of it.
survival mode. It might shoot me.
Mark's in.
Oh, it's
Yes,
trying.
It's just shooting him. So, I mean, as we said, we're all overpowered at this point, but you know, if there were those, say, zombies with guns walking around, this would deal with it. And here I'll go to the config, clustered players, stealth M23 add.
That's a pretty good range, actually. We should
Now
be
it won't
pretty
shoot.
far.
Yeah, so then there were some other throwaway things, like Mark made this nuclear fusion reactor for some side project.
We needed it for to make superconductive stuff, which was required to make something. You needed the superconducting conduit. Yeah. Enhanced superconductor, it can only be made in a fusion control computer with an efficiency 5 enchanted book and a max fusion control size, and that was required to make in the ultimate crafting table, the ultimate dank null, and the creative vending upgrade, which was the true trump card.
So do you want to show us where that is now?
That I have it's in my sanctum.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of broken.
Where it at though?
And I'm trying to find the teleporter underground sanctum. So if you come over here, you have what is probably the most powerful block in existence, because
Let's see where you at.
I'm trying to. There's a bit of lag. I'm trying to grab. There we go. Anything you put in here immediately becomes infinite, and you can just draw from it infinitely. And even though I built this legitly through painstaking time and effort, I felt that it was still so busted that putting anything into it was, you know, only of the utmost importance. But it works with literally anything. So like I could put.
Oh, just tied into an abandoned mine shaft. That's cool.
Yep. Oh, and this is my beacon that keeps me alive.
Oh, so you could just swords.
Yep.
Free swords of the cosmos.
Free swords of the cosmos.
No worries.
Take one of those. There we go. That's fine. I like that. Thanks.
Oh, and this is where he put his personal nanobot. So yeah, I made, and he made as well, personal nanobots, which give us special effects like my speed 3, invisibility resistance, water breathing. Those are all from my personal nanobot.
Yep. And you also have resistance on it, which isn't supposed to go any higher than 3, but you can go up to 5. Every level of resistance gives you a flat 20% reduction of damage. 5 times 20% gives you 100% damage reduction, which means you become functionally immortal.
Yeah, you can only take damage from things which exceed certain thresholds that Minecraft math struggles to deal with.
Yep. There are ways to kill someone like this. They're just few and far between.
One fun thing about it, though, is you still take damage from creepers, even with resistance 5. Because creepers are the true final boss of Minecraft. You know, we fought the Chaos Guardian. It can't hold a candle to creepers. So
small
looking through, you know, we started, as many do, we started punching wood. And we just look at the number of quests we did. Tier 0, Tier 1.
Probably thousands of quests.
Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, And we went all the way from punching wood in the fall of 2021 to having a utopian post-scarcity society and killing like elder beings in June of 2022.
I'm gonna have
2023.
to-
2023?
Starberry, but
Holy
actually-
shit, we're old. Alright.
We did it. This is
We
the
did it.
first, and it was quite a hell of a pack to say that we finished. And we did.
Oh yeah.
Did we have to take some creative liberty? Yes, because otherwise this pack just wouldn't be created. Like we were saying in terms of making the materials for the Infinity Catalysts. At certain points, we would still not be done. If we never went to space to build the space station, I mean, I don't even know how much longer it would have taken. Like Nate said, on the order of years. It's just ridiculous. And with that, I want to talk about that. This pack is quite fun in terms of like challenge and the concept. And especially the early game, while being challenging, it's acceptable. It's a fair difficulty. They're like, okay, I get it. Minecraft can be a bit easy. Maybe people want to have a little bit of a challenge. You want things a bit more realistic. But when you get to tier probably 3 and beyond, this pack becomes a slog. And there's no better word for it. And it's a real shame because I really, really, really want to like this pack. But it just becomes so just drowned in the minutia of building every little thing that you just you lose everything else and everything that is good about the pack. And there's a lot. Oh, he killed the dragon.
He killed my dragon.
It's a dragon. Dragons are for killing. Okay,
It's fucking
continue.
massive.
It was
It's
my dragon.
Look at how much area it's covering.
Anyway, continue.
But it's really sad because the person who made this pack obviously put a lot of time and effort into it, and I commend them for it. This is probably one of the most fleshed out packs that I've ever seen. And in terms of difficulty and needless complexity and like just absolutely ridiculous levels of minutia, only one pack is worse than this. And we've played it too. And it's called Sevtech.
What about RL Craft?
RO Craft is just mean because of the fighting. It has nothing on this and Sevtech on crafting recipes. I still think, however, Sevtech takes the cake because Sevtech straight up bans you from using certain basic functions of Minecraft until you get to a certain age. Like, you just can't do certain things. At least in this, we were always able to turn, wood into planks. Granted, it wasn't very efficient. You don't get much from it. But you still do it. And, we were able to cook things without having to make those fucking clay kilns from Sevtech. But this pack, it's hard, it's slow, it's pretty long. But if you can look past all of that, it's really good. Oh, that was a bad idea.
That's a good way to end it. No.
But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? How'd you guys
Yeah,
like
no,
the
I
pack?
mean, I thought it was really fun, especially early. I think you need the additions.
Yeah.
Like, without Erebus for spawning, like, sadly, I basically, I think the late game is unplayable without adding Erebus on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really, like Nate said, it's super fun in the beginning, and it was interesting to like have to really work for the things. But
Yep.
towards the end, like I even found myself being like, okay, I really don't want to do anything because it's all so absolutely difficult that it's not really that fun to go make like 20 things just to go make this one thing.
Yeah, it gets to a certain level of complexity. I will give to them that he did, like I said, the person who made this, plenty of time and effort, and I commend him for it. But
Oh yeah.
you can definitely tell that he did his homework because everything tied into everything, and that is also a problem. Like we were saying, we never knew if we were missing something from another like quest line until we tried to build something. Then we were like, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's from this. How the hell do we get this? Oh, it's from this. Like we didn't even go over the whole astral sorcery that I just had to do in like a couple sessions. I blitzed through the entirety of the Astral Sorcery mod because it was required to make something in a later a later level of the questline. Does it tell you that? Not really. I just looked at it one day and I was like, oh, wait a second. Where do I get that? Yeah, Astral Sorcery. Oh,
Some of the things
shit.
made sense on why it should be harder to make. That was fine. But some other things that should have been just easy to make were ludicrously hard for felt like no reason.
I mean, like I said, I commend him. It's a good pack if you are just the kind of person that wants to just work and turn Minecraft not into a game, but straight up a job to work with. And it's fun.
Great if you don't have ADHD and get bored with doing one thing for hours.
I mean, it's also great if you're the only reason Nate and I were able to power through it is because we also are kind of like that neurotic need to, make things more efficient. What is the best version of something we can mill? If I'm doing this and I'm wasting 10% of my materials, that's going to upset me. And Nate and I are the same way. We can use the math. We know when we're being efficient, when we're not being efficient. And in this pack, do you have to be efficient? No. But you're going to want to be efficient because anything that you're losing on efficiency, you can add hours, days, weeks to your timeline of doing something. And that's not an exaggeration. But like I said, I commend him. Thousands of quests, well made. The pathing wasn't the best, but it was still incredibly impressive. And his ability to tie in mods from every walk of life of mods.
I mean, it was definitely really
it's
fun
just
for a mod pack, but
incredible.
After this mod pack, the need to
yeah, and after this
play a
pack,
relaxing
we
mod
decided,
pack.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. We're like, Kayla, pick us something that we won't probably want to tear our hair out about. So next time, which could be tomorrow if I can get the server running, we will go into a much more laid back, a lot less advanced, a lot less complicated, just a very nice slice of life, chill mod pack that should be much more enjoyable for us in terms of de-stressing from this. But that being said, I am still incredibly proud of us and our team, especially for actually completing a mod pack all the way through. The server cancer did not get us this time. We pushed.
Almost.
And we fought, and on several occasions it looked bad, but I have learned over the years how to protect the server and heal it, and we did it. So I'd like to take this moment and say thank you, Kayla, thank you, Nate, for sticking around till the very end. It was rough towards the end, we all know it, but we do get that sense of pride and accomplishment that EA promised us from Battlefront 2, and we did it. We actually completed it. Like Nate said, we are working on 2 years of this pack. And while it may have been difficult at some points, I am definitely happy to say that we did actually finish it. It would have been so much worse if we did all this job, all this work, all this effort, and then the server broke near the end, like it did with SevTech. It didn't. We did it. We proved we can do it.
Yeah, this pack definitely, once you've done, actually finish it, you do feel, a really good sense of accomplishment. Not is that it?
Oh yeah, no, you're like, I finished something. Just building certain blocks in this pack, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I did it, and you're like, dude, that's just like a computer.
Oh, I
chip.
remember
Like,
that with all of the solar panels.
Yeah, every time Nate got a solar panel, there's a little bit of fanfare because, well, it takes the time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and I think
solar panel of infinity.
Not only did we finish it,
it's a nightmare.
The next one, and you're like, oh god.
Oh yeah, the first time we looked into the actual logistics of the Infinity Catalyst, Nate and I just had a fucking existential crisis as we ran the numbers, and the numbers were just telling us go fuck yourself because there's no way with your current setup you're getting this at any point in the near future. And that's why you adapt. And I think that's something this pack also drives you towards. Adaptation, which is adaptation. How much can you bend the rules of Minecraft and this pack to find something, anything that makes you break even? And it does. But like I said, as everything that I gripe about, I'm still very glad that we finished it. I'm very proud of ourselves for it. This is obviously, I would say, one of the hardest packs in terms of complexity. And we did it. We actually did it. And now we get to move on to Life in the Village 3, which will be starting tomorrow. If I can wrangle it, I will archive this server, send the relevant files, to Nate. I will be posting this on our YouTube's channel to live in posterity, so people will always know that we completed this pack. So I think I've said my piece. If you guys have anything to say, take the floor.
Kayla?
I think that's fine. I think that's good enough.
Alrighty. And I'll close it down with a Nate special. And
Oof.
that's all from
no.
me.
Don't blow anything up. Oh, he killed a horse. Okay, yeah, that's a Nate special.
Let's
Because you want the
talk
world
to you
found
all
still.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.